Yes, yes. We want to thank everybody for pulling up. We want to thank every single person for holding tight. We had a little couple camera issues here, but you know how I do. We work our way through it, man. We work our way through it. We're not gonna play no games. We got to get this conversation out to the people. We got to get the conversation to the people, and we got backup cameras. So we just go to get us another one. So let's get ready to get into this thing, man. This is going to be a more teaching exercise. You know, a lot of people out here moving around, right? It's been a lot of people that's been talking about this quarterback situation, talk about the Cleveland Browns. As I go back and watch OTAs, as I look at seeing what's going on with the OTAs, I think right now there needs to be a lot of individuals, and we need to do some debunking here. This is where my expertise comes into play. It's because there are so many people that are missing the entire boat on this. And the reason they're missing the entire boat on this is because they don't have the foundations. You're building your house on sand. You got to have a foundation. And the foundation to everything that we do and we talk about around here is football. And right now, the problem why everybody is getting everything wrong about the quarterback battle and the quarterback competition is because they don't understand the principles and concepts that go into why 7-on-7 is what it is, why 11-on-11 what it is. Why do you have inside run drills? Why do you have one-on-one drills? Why do you have pass rush one-on-ones? Why do you have all these different things that you do? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how you go about practicing, how you go about this thing, and why this all comes together to give you a bigger overall understanding of what you're seeing at the quarterback position and why everybody in the media is missing this. I don't get it. We're going to talk about a guy who's a former pro, and he's missing it. What are you talking about, bro? These guys continuously keep telling you that this guy's ahead and this guy's ahead and this guy, bro, you just telling on yourself, fam. You're telling on yourself because that is not what's going on right now, and you sound crazy. You know what I'm going to do. Get your coffee ready. You know what it is right here. Shout out to the coffee. Get your tea ready because we're going to break this thing all the way down. Not emotional, not over the top, not on my own artificial timetable, because a lot of y'all got artificial timetables. Well, he wants to name the quarterback. I'll even debunk that. You guys got to keep, boy. See, I done already got started. 613 people in here. We need to make sure you hyping the video. We need to make sure you getting this thing ready to go, because you already know what it is. The most electrifying show in all of the world. You know what it is. It's your boy G Bush in the barbershop. Yep. We gonna have a great time today, because what I want to do is get to some principles for you, right? I'm gonna get to some principles for you. We've continuously been told. We've continuously been told, hey man, so-and-so is looking good. Watson out here moving around doing his thing. Shedeur out here cooking. Everybody is ready to go. Let me tell you something. I got a plan. Yup. I know Forrest starting all day and twice on Sunday. He's starting. Hold on. Nah, man. Shedeur. He the one starting. They gonna have the quarterback battle picked by May 30th. That's what Coach Monken was saying. This sound worse than one of them. You ever be at a church and the church be having way more gossip than they be having preaching? Yeah, I heard so-and-so over there. I heard so-and-so over here. So-and-so was talking about something. What? This is getting crazy. Todd Monken want to have he want the coach. The coach want to have this whole quarterback thing. He want to have the whole quarterback thing broke all the way down. He want to have it done, ready to already be set up by the time we even get to June. That's what he's trying to get done. So they could just get things. Let me just tell y'all something right now. There ain't no such thing as getting everything set and then putting work in. What kind of craziness is that? You want to pick the quarterback before you see what quarterback what he need to work on. You want to pick the quarterback before the work is put in, so then you can put the work in. That ain't the way it works now. Because when you start doing anything, you don't get put in a position they put you to work, then train you. Don't they put you through? Don't everybody go through 2 weeks of training before they hit the floor? And then your metrics when you used to hit the floor ain't the same when you hit the floor. Is that correct? See, I used to train people, hire people, all the above, progressive discipline. I did that for 8 to 10 years in middle level management in corporate America. First, you got to identify the candidate you want. The identification process is called what? The interview process. We're going to put you through an interview. First and foremost, you might not even make it to the interview. We got to give you that assessment. You want to take a math test? We're going to give you a personality assessment to even figure out if you have the baseline skill sets to be in this gig, because this ain't for everybody. Then when we weed you out, we're going to come and do an interview, me and another team leader. And we're going to take turns asking questions. Tell me a time about when you were under pressure. Tell me a time when everything broke down in front of you and you had to throw the ball away. Can you tell me a time where maybe the offensive lineman wasn't really, blocking for you, or the offensive line made an error and let a free rusher come? What did you do? Can you tell me a time when you were fooled on the defense? See, those are your interview questions, right? Just like when you go take an interview, they ask you questions that give you insight into what you would do before that or at a different time. So for quarterbacks, you know what the interview is, right? The interview ain't 7-on-7. The interview is what's on tape. You can't do an interview without having the prerequisites to putting them under a stressor. Why do you think they give you a test? Because people are spooked out about tests. People go crazy when you say the word test. Watch people melt. I'm not a good test taker. The test for quarterbacks isn't shorts and helmets when everybody got the same jersey on as them. The test for quarterbacks is when you're under pressure, when you're moving around, when you're moving and shaking, when you need to find out something, when you need to get the ball downfield, when all hell breaks loose, when you don't really got a receiver that's open, that's when I find out what your quarterback is. It's not today. It ain't tomorrow. And only a football player can tell you this. It happens exactly when you get pads on. You know what it is. You understand what it is. And the misconception is this. There's a long drawn misconception. And the reason we're cycling through this stuff so fast is because there is a misconception. Remember, go back and go back and watch the press room, right? I wish I had this clip. Go back and watch the press room. I played it on here a couple of months ago. And the reason I played the press room, and there's a guy who breaks down what the media ask and the way that they answer the questions. And I featured this one specific part because in the opening paragraph, in the opening introductory Todd Monken press conference, one of the reporters and most of the reporters asked a very, very important question. When do you want? When do you want to have your starting quarterback named? When would you like to have your quarterback named? Who's ahead in the quarterback battle? We've been framing this for weeks, months, because that is what our timetable is built on. See, when you ask that question, when do you want your quarterback by, then it shapes the way that they can frame the question and the urgency. I see, I didn't see that. Right now, that's it. The press room. Yeah. When you frame it as, hey, when would you like to have a starting quarterback? That's when they can start to put the artificial timetable in their head placed on the viewer. So what it is, they get you to thinking, we better have a quarterback today. And if I need a quarterback by tomorrow or sooner rather than later, now I just need to come out and now I need to know how quickly I need to put the status on somebody. How quickly does the timetable need to go? How quickly do I need to pick a guy? How quickly do I need to say, oh, it's Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is winning and he's going to win this quarterback competition. Because what you got to understand, these things are not built upon information. They're not built upon performance. They are built upon the fact that this is the Cliff Notes version of things. I've asked you, when would you like to have a quarterback? You say, well, shoot, I would like to have a quarterback in a perfect world by the time training camp start. But in the perfect world, G. Bush want abs and $10 million. So you asked that question, so now the framing matches up with what you're going to write and print the rest of the time. Always remember, when somebody put an artificial time set on you, that's made to put pressure on you. Because what they want to do is come back and say, well, listen, Todd, we asked you before. We asked you when you wanted a quarterback. Now, does that mean because you haven't chosen a quarterback by this date, does that mean that you don't have a quarterback to begin with? You see, I'm just teaching today. I'm just breaking it down today. I'm really not even inflammatory today. I really ain't even, I'm not really even in my bag. Like, I really ain't even saying, like, you know what I'm saying? This just it's like somebody saying, let me just tell you this. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna keep it real with you. We cook it early. 1,160 people in here. This gonna be real. Yeah, it's one of those. We just talking to you right now. We ain't even getting, my blood pressure ain't even up. We ain't yelling at nobody. Let me tell you this. Just like when you go to work. Let me ask y'all a question. I want to hear all the real office folks today. I want to hear from y'all today. We're gonna do a lot of analogies today so y'all can get it. Where them office folks at? Where corporate America people at? Where the educators at? Where the people that really be out here in these fields, right? One of the reasons why I always tell people, man, it's always something behind the scenes. Remember that. Case in point, I done worked on both sides of the fence. I done worked as a person who has been a worker. I've been a person who's been an entrepreneur. I've been a person who's been an owner, and I've been a person who's in middle management. And let me just tell you something. What they tell you in them offices is only a small sliver of what you see. It's called an iceberg. See, the most part of an iceberg is under the water. The mass of an iceberg is, you may see a third of what it is, but the iceberg is massive. What sunk the Titanic? It's unsinkable. Sure, it's not. Not if you run into an iceberg you can't see. Think about it like this. When you at work, have you ever been at a place and you've been balling, doing your thing, first in, last out, always getting invited to the meetings, you in every email chain, signing up for extra projects, you know what I'm saying? You taking work home, you're like, yeah, man, I'm really doing my thing here, man. Listen, I finally really found some place. They act like they got some sense. They understand what I bring to the table. You're like, okay, that's what's up. Then all of a sudden, something changes. I don't know what it is. All of a sudden, you walk in the cafeteria, not so much talking to you. You're looking around, all the emails that you used to be on. You find out that they in conference room 4, they got a whole think tank going on. Just a focus group going on in conference room 2. You're like, hold on. Where everybody at? We usually get coffee around the cooler about this time. Jamie over there, Patrick over there, Susie over there, even somebody on your team. You're like, hold on, that person report to me. Why that person in a meeting? You look on your calendar, looking at, you ain't on the calendar nowhere. You go talk to your boss and you say, hey, John, I was just a little confused, man. I happened to see that, there was a meeting, and, one of my direct report was in there, but I wasn't CC'd on the invite. Oh, Garrett, it's no problem. It's no problem. It's no problem. It was just an oversight. Oversight. Okay. That was the first warning shot. Ain't no such thing as no oversight. You can't send 7 emails. We know how that works. No oversight. So you're thinking maybe it's a little strange. So you go back around the office and you're looking around a little more and you say, well, you know what? I'm gonna just work harder. Put some more work in, stay a little longer, get there earlier with my coffee and my button up on. A little nice. Hey, how you guys doing? Everybody good? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody good? You're moving around. By the time you get 2 weeks down the line, you're noticing they're taking projects off your list. Before, you couldn't even breathe. You had to take projects home. You was the point person. Garrett, can you guys can you take over hiring? I know you usually hire for your department. We got somebody on maternity leave. Can you hire for another team leader? Oh, no problem. They really trust you. Really trust your judgment, who we bring. Oh, awesome. Hey, Garrett, listen, we got this presentation coming on about the revenue. We want to put this together. Could you provide the financial slides? Can you provide those financial? I got you. No problem. I'll knock those out. All of a sudden, they taking stuff off your table. Hey, Garrett, we're gonna slide that one project we asked you to be about with. Remember, before we put you, we hired somebody else, and we want to get his feet wet, and kind of get him indoctrinated. And plus, I mean, you're doing a tremendous job wherever you're at right now. So we want to just lighten the load a little bit. Oh, okay. See, right there, you already on the outs, and you don't even know it. Don't even know it. Confused. You're like, what the heck? See, what you start to do now, you feeling like you're ostracized. Now you're starting to feel like you're losing a relationship. Huh? See, when this starts to happen, you actually feel the physical pain if somebody is hurting you. Psychologically, this is fact, proven. And by the time this already happens, understand it's time for you to start to seek another job, because you know what's coming next. It's that PIP. Let me know if anybody know what a PIP is in here. I ain't talking about Snoop Dogg and 50 Cent. Hey, that's that performance improvement plan. That performance improvement plan. They spin it as it's something that we want. It's something that we really want you to take as an opportunity to make you better. This is an opportunity. I tell you, when that performance improvement plan hit, by the time that hit, you're already gone. Now, here's what you should do. Don't you quit. Don't you quit. You come in there, do exactly what you need to do. But here's the thing. Understand that the second they put you on that PIP, that's the friends box. If a woman tell you, I look at you like my brother and my best friends, that is the PIP. You ain't never coming back from that. I just see you're such like my brother. Oh, goodness. You might want to go and chalk that up. Do you know how hard it is to come back from the brothers? The brothers in friend zone? That performance improvement plan is a body here. You know what they're doing? They building a case against you. That paper trail is coming. Nobody bakes. Statistics say less than 30% of people continue at a job long-term after they've been put on a PIP because it's almost uncontrollable. It's vague. Nobody knows what it's talking about. Guess what? You're not going to hit them metrics and numbers. They're impossible. And then even if they are stated what numbers and metrics you got to get, they hit you with, we want to see that we want to see you, conduct better relationships with our clients. How do you judge that? We want to see you have better relationships with your team. How do you judge? Jane, in HR, how do you quantify that? Huh? How do you quantify that? There is no quantification for it. There's nothing. That means what you should do is make sure at that point, we ain't giving you nothing to fire us on, but here's what you need to stop doing. That energy and effort that you taking, trying to do all these committees, doing all this work, showing up 3 hours late, going home 3 hours. They didn't already find your replacement, big dog. They didn't already got you together. You don't even know. No way, no, you don't know it. You need to take that energy and go find your next job. You need to be on Indeed, getting that LinkedIn together. You need to be using your infrastructure and that Rolodex to be reaching out to people in the industry. You need to be running around. And then this the real player boss tactic. When you know you done got down to the second interviews, now it's time to exhaust that PTO. Don't do it to go on vacation. You're gonna exhaust that PTO. So you might have to relocate. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Florida. It ain't on no business trip, it ain't on a pleasure trip. This business. I'm not in Florida interviewing on that final interview. And that, my good sir, is how you get it done. You say, G. Bush, what is wrong with this? What does this have to do with anything with Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson and all? See, the problem is this. You guys can't decipher what's happening. You guys can't decipher what's happening because you don't know what's going on. Right now, they hit y'all with the PIP, the performance improvement plan. You over here working overtime, trying to get these scoops, running around trying to figure out who the quarterback is, and you don't know that they've already bypassed you. You're no longer in the meetings, in the groups. That's why everybody is wildly swinging and missing. I can't believe it. And I'm just sitting there like this. You can't see this? By the way, have a little grace. Guess what? We already know what that's called. That's that pizza party. They deliver you them slices of pizza in here. And that's what the pizza party, AKA, yeah, we're going to have to downsize the workforce. And you didn't make it. Yeah, we're going to offer our best. We're going to bow for our best associates. You can move over to the other department. We got some cold calls for you to make. Yeah, I know we used to sell security system, but we got another department. We're going to move y'all to sell Ginsu kitchen knives. This is funny. Here's the reality of the situation. They already understand what this is about. They already understand what this is about. And they're just feeding you information or basically not saying anything. But the problem is this is all on purpose. This is not just, this has been a plan used in order to create just misdirection like it's a jet sweep. Oh, look over there. Oh, look over there. Oh, look over there. Oh, look over there. And then the running back, and we throw him backside over here. You don't believe me? They told you, yeah, we probably want to have. You don't believe me? We really want to have this thing figured out by the time camp starts. Oh, really? Well, let me just show you this. I mean, this is from NFL.com. I had to go national on y'all boys. NFL.com. Get together, 1,600 people in here. Put your super sleuths hats on. Put them on. Todd Monken reiterated 2 points about his quarterback competition between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland Browns held their second voluntary organized team activity practice on Wednesday. This is the second one. Second, two, as in like 1, 2. Both are doing well. Always remember this. When they put you in that, right before they put you in that PIP, guess what they tell you? You ask them, you meet with your boss. Hey, how am I doing? Oh, you're doing well. If they just say you're doing well and they ain't put no metrics on it, if they ain't put no percentage of sales growth or sales decline or revenue or nah, you're not doing well. That means they just letting you chill for a little bit. Both are doing well, and watch this. And watch this. And the only deadline the Browns' first-year coach has in mind for naming it a starter is by September 13th, the opener at Jacksonville. Guys, I'm going to tell you how this worked. I just keep telling you how it worked. Now, no disrespect to anybody outside. The reason they can't tell you this is how it works is because they have a job to do. I'm not knocking nobody on the job. Between now and September 13th, I don't got the math, Rosie. That's where we was in May. So you got June, July, August. Oh, forget it, August, September. That is 4 months. That's almost 4 months. You know what you can do? You can almost have a whole baby in 3 months, 3 and 4 months. You know what you do in 4 months? Huh? If you lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds a month, that's 30 pounds. You know how long 4 months is? By the way, what'd he say? Nothing's really changed other than it's a different day and you're firing the same questions. I'm just going to I continue to give you the true testament. I continue to give you the true testament. I continue to give you what it is. Now, I set this thing up because of the PIP. You've been an associate for how long? 9 years. You get a new boss, right? Now, all of a sudden, in 9 years, you get a new boss and you done forgot how to do your job? In 9 years, you get a new boss who you had to have trained, who you had to tell what the metrics was supposed to be. And now in 3 months, they know so much that they done brought you in the office to tell you you're not doing your job. I'm cooking for some people. For some people, somebody is really like, bro, this is wild work. I can't believe I just talked to my boss the other. Right. Let me tell you how that PIP works. They tell you one thing, but on another track, it's a completely different thing. Nothing really has changed other than it's a different day and you're firing the same questions, Monken said. I mean, we're going to rotate the guys and play the best person. We'll see. Now that we've set this thing up a little bit, now you see where we're going. See, this is the difference between my podcast and yours. These are layered moves. This is not just static. Oh, I just don't think that the Browns, if the Browns think, bro, come on, we're not the same. We're not on the same air. It's not the same playing field. Even the haters, there's 1,700 people in here, might be 500 haters. They even got to be like, man, I got to go check the barbershop out. He be cooking, and I need to figure out what I'm going to talk about on Monday. Watson and Sanders both got plenty of snaps with the first team in 11-on-11 drills. Watson came out at the beginning. Sanders were late. That's another thing. I listened to a bunch of your articles. I listened to a bunch of your articles. I listened to a bunch of your, and you never had that. And you never had any of that. You said so-and-so got the most reps. He corrected you on he corrected you and said, I actually, be truthful, Shedeur got the predominantly amount of reps at the end. I love it because this is intentional. This ain't happenstance. They going right, they kiki and ha-ha. They kiki and ha-ha after practice. You see what I told him the other day? They confused as heck. Good morning, Bradley. How you doing? Right? Even though Monken isn't tipping his hand, who might have the advantage for after 1 month of the offseason work? He has liked the progress of both have made thus far. See, Watson, who missed last year with tearing Achilles tendon twice, has gone 9-10 as coach's starter since becoming acquired in Houston by Houston in 2022. He has 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 80.7 passer rating. Monken said on January 28th, lauded Watson's athleticism despite multiple injuries. Said, man, he I thought he was going to look terrible. What else he said? Watson connected on a deep ball with rookie Denzel Boston. I got to give credit where credit due. That was a nice deep ball. That was a nice rock. I loved it. That was a nice throw. I can't even hate. See, don't come over here acting like G. Bush can't call it. Listen, I watch football. Stop hating. What up, Big Snacks? Let's go. Second round pick made the catch in the end zone while being covered by Tyson Campbell and Ronnie Hickman. Even though Watson's future in Cleveland appeared to be bleak last year, Monken said he's giving everyone a clean slate, as it's supposed to be. I think it's really cool that he still has an opportunity with a chance to showcase his ability and see where he's at. I'm all for that. Put a bow right here. Put a bow out here. Let me think about this. I've told you from the get-go. I've told you from 21 Jump Street. I would have said 21 Savage, 21. But I wanted to give it a little nostalgia. G, bring that back for me. Thank you. G, do you think AB is rehabilitating Deshaun Watson's, showcasing him as a Browns quarterback? So when team loses their starter due to injury and gets desperate, he'll trade for Deshaun Watson for the contract relief draft pick or cash. Well, Armac dog, seems like you've been a watcher of my content. Seems like you, my good sir, have your super sleuth hat on. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? By the way, if they take you to South America, you're done. They take you to Europe. Listen, hey, I'll take the African map on where in the world is Carmen Sandiego over the, don't give me that Eastern Bloc European Carmen Sandiego map. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you this. Of course, the plan has always been, they've even walked back what Jimmy Haslam has said in terms of swing and miss, is because, to be honest with you, the Cleveland Browns have always tried to do right by their players. The reason why Deshaun Watson has not spoken to anyone is because they're not giving you any opportunity to sully his name any further. They're not giving you an opportunity to pick apart and delve back into allegations. They're not giving you the ability to see and put any sort of bad discourse between a young quarterback in Deshaun Watson and a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders. They're not going to give you the opportunity to be inflammatory and ask borderline questions like, hey, have you solved all the cases, right? They've done a good job of saying, he's going to play, we'll speak for him. And how we'll speak for him is through sources, not him directly. All we want him to do is go out and play football. That is the biggest red flag that you should have. Any intelligent thinking individual that is critical thinking should already have your antennas up. In this league, it is imperative that quarterbacks speak. It is in their contract. He don't got to do it now. But guess what? You're going to have to get to it at some point. Because guess what? Every week they're going to talk about it. And if you would think that if you listen and you would react and you would get to it, you would think that a person that is in the league for a quarterback battle that's come back from 2 Achilles heel tears would see and have a lot to say, especially if he's already where he's at today. Let me find out that I done went through hell and back. I done had all these allegations. I done had to come back and rehab. I tore my Achilles heel in the offseason twice. I'm finally back. I got a new coach. The coach done said in front of people. He said in front of folks. I think it's really cool that he still has the opportunity with a chance to showcase his ability and see where he's at. I'm all for that. Don't you think you would want to have the conversation when you get a chance to be in front of the media to ask yourself, hey, what do you think about, what did you think about what Todd said? That's pretty cool. Because there was a point in time where you thought your career might be over, right? Did you ever second? There's so many questions. The question is, why have we not heard? Well, I'll tell you why you're not heard. Because they know who they're dealing with. They understand you messy. They understand we messy. They understand what the fan base's attitude is towards a lot of this stuff. Right? Huh? By the way, at this point, guys, the article he has up saying that. By the way, continue to tell people to come over here and read. The article is right in front of me. I'm reading it on the screen. Y'all don't do good. I could tell why y'all didn't do no good in critical thinking in school. This is why I run my shows like PowerPoint slides, so you can comprehend. Sanders also got kudos for his offseason progress after an eventful rookie season. The much-hyped fifth-round pick started the final 7 games with 3-4, 7 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions, 68.1 passer rating, while struggling at times with his footwork and learning the playbook. I think Shedeur has come miles in terms of his progressions, getting the ball out, his understanding concepts. I think he's really, really come a long way. Notice, this is what I love about Todd Monken because he's very smart. He's very, very smart. The 2 things that people talk about that they pick apart about whether it's Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders, he comes out and evens the playing field. He has not come out and said anything negative about either player. As a matter of fact, he comes out to debunk that, hey, I like his athleticism. The thing that we worried about Deshaun Watson is he tore 2 Achilles heels. How healthy does he look? Oh, he even called it his superpower. If it's a superpower, it can't be a weakness, can it? See, you guys don't study communications enough. I just have to break it down for you. That's what he said. He talked about Shedeur Sanders. Coach Prime came on. Coach Prime said exactly, don't be acting like my son is stupid. Stop running around talking about he don't know progressions. Do you think that is a coincidence? That the coach comes out and said, I think he's come miles in terms of his progressions. Miles in that progression, right? One thing Monken wasn't pleased with was with any of the quarterbacks was the interceptions, the missed passes during some other team drills. Now we're going to go, see how this thing flows. 1,900 people hit the like button. This thing flows directly into what I want to get to, right? Let me get to this. Flows right to what I want to do. He said, yeah, we threw interceptions on 7-on-7. For God's sake. I mean, who does that? There's no pass rush. I mean, it's embarrassing, he said. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now let us get into what we're talking about. One by one, you see how we setting this thing up? In order to decode what the Cleveland Browns saying, you must have a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, that means you're on sand. If you're on sand, you always slipping, you always grasping, you're always looking for something. We told you. Why does it seem like the people is moving different? The energy is different. They didn't put y'all on that PIP, performance improvement plan. We need y'all to improve on what y'all reporting about. It's no coincidence that Shedeur Sanders come out and say, y'all got everybody on board. Y'all got to do better. Let me tell you how great this works, right? Guys are still confused. Guys are still confused. Emmanuel Alcho says, Todd Monken is putting too much pressure on Deshaun Watson by continuing to hype him up as Cleveland's franchise quarterback despite ongoing concerns about his return to elite form. The reason I put this out here is because everything that I just said prior to this now leads to this. My good sir, what are you talking about? My good sir, what are we talking about? And in what case did Todd Monken hype anybody up? At what point was there any hypation going on? No, my good sir, you're hyping it up. It's the reverse hype move. This is what happens. I'm going to let you guys know. When you're not really close to the situation, sometimes you be just pulling stuff. Who said to continue to hype him up as Cleveland's franchise quarterback despite ongoing concerns about his return to the elite form? This is a perfect opportunity, and this is a perfect example of how they keep everybody off balance. If you always slightly off balance, instead of worrying about where the ball is, you'll worry about falling off the ladder because you always got to be changing. Oh, I change here, I got to change. Because reality of the situation is they realize, as I told you guys before, they don't like none of them. They don't like the guy who picked them in Andrew Berry. They definitely don't like Deshaun Watson, but y'all already took a whole year to tear down Shedeur Sanders. So now what they're making you do in real time is you pick your poison. Which one you want? You want the dagger, or you want the drops of stuff in your vial? You want one of them? You want to sleep? You want to go to sleep, or how you want to move with this? You know what I'm saying? Because you having a very difficult time picking one. Because last week you was talking about why would Shedeur Sanders even talk to Todd Monken? You ain't even got a good angle right now. Who don't you like? See, before we could put it out there, we knew who not to like. At first, it was Andrew Berry. Then they got a new coach. Well, I guess I don't know. I will figure out what the coach, right? Then the coach tells you, I don't care what y'all be saying. Y'all can't put me on the same timetable as the rest of them because I don't care what you think. That really messed people up. Then he had the nerve to say nice things about Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Now you confused as all get out because you're looking around trying to figure out, well, which one do I not like the worst? And then you end up missing the entire boat. Since Monken has arrived in Cleveland, there's been all of this conversation about Deshaun's our guy. No, there hasn't. I'll repeat that. No, it hasn't. He said, I think it's cool that he has an opportunity with a chance to showcase ability and see where he's at. Does this sound like he's our guy? I think it's really cool that he has the opportunity with a chance to showcase his ability and see where he's at, like physically, mentally, emotionally, as a player. I'm all for it. See what happens when you just back it up and bring that back and you just show like what the levels are. It makes you look kind of crazy, right? Fact of the matter, right? A lot of faith, right? He goes on to say, there's been all of this conversation about Deshaun's our guy. A lot of faith in Deshaun. Really? When Myles Garrett was asked who's the guy, he said Shedeur Sanders. Where did Deshaun Watson went on camera nowhere? Deshaun Watson does. And the reason why they do this is because they know people are going to say this exact stuff. This is the reason. This is being a poser. You're posing as if you're trying to be an honest arbiter. You're not. You can't be an honest arbiter if you're already framing the conversation as if people are amping up Deshaun Watson when nobody has done the thing at all. Nobody has said this. So when nobody says it, you have to insert your thought and act as if somebody else said it. No, you said that. Fact of the matter is Deshaun Watson is going to put every fan in the worst possible situation when you still feel like you have hope. Who said that? Have you heard the fan base talk about it? Nope. Realistically speaking, is Deshaun going to get back to 4,800 yards, 30 touchdowns? Deshaun? Monken is making it worse by describing Watson as though we were going to see it again. Where did he say any of that? Here's how I know he didn't say it. Because he won't even give you the opportunity to speak to Deshaun Watson for him to say it himself. Oh, you guys, this is how they play you. They code with it. They know what question you want to ask. They know what narrative you want to paint. And because they won't give it to you, you crash out. And you say, well, you said this. And they're like, no, we didn't. Well, who cares if you said it? I'm going to say it then and then answer my own question. He's putting way too much pressure on Deshaun Watson. How? He's putting so much least pressure on Deshaun Watson, he don't even got to show up to talk. Look at him smiling. That smile right there for Deshaun Watson is, I'll never talk to you people again. I don't got to do nothing but throw this football because Jimmy Haslam said I don't got to talk to y'all. Boy, this is easy work, light work, easy money. Hashtag New Cleveland. Buy my mixtape. Fire. These guys are crazy. Let me show y'all something. I'm going to also show you on a football premise why this thing right here is ridiculous. They out here doing 7-on-7. 7-on-7. So look great out here, 7-on-7. 7-on-7. Balling. Mixtape in stores. You know what it is? Fire. Got all kind of people on that mixtape, man. On all platforms. Let me get to this. I'm going to show you something. Todd Monken said something, and a lot of people didn't catch it. I want to highlight this, too. Let me highlight this. I'm going to highlight this. He's showing the levels to this. Kevin Stefanski never said this. Kevin Stefanski wasn't highlighting this. Shout out to Cameron Justice. Shout out to Cam. Daniel Oefusi. Shout out to them. I mess with their work. I asked the Browns, Todd Monken, about the defensive plays made today. A couple of interceptions and forced fumbles. Yeah, we threw interceptions on 7-on-7, for God's sakes. I mean, who does that? There's no pass rush. I mean, it's embarrassing. Look at that man's face. Look at that man's face. Coach Rhea says, I agree. 7-on-7 should absolutely favor the offense. There is no real pass rush. There are no quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are clean. Defenders at every level of football are limited with what they can do with their hands. Coaches expect offense to dominate those settings. What I'm going to do is mess the whole industry up right here. What I'm going to do is really make it difficult. If you want, you can come on and sit down with your boy G. Bush. Come on down. And I'll tell you, and we'll show you. I'm going to play you a couple clips, and I'm going to show you why the whole premise of talk about who's ahead of who right now is utterly ridiculous. The reason why Todd Monken is so mad about interceptions on 7-on-7 is because it's football with training wheels on it. As a matter of fact, defensive linemen don't respect it. Offensive linemen don't respect it. No real person that knows football really respects 7-on-7 like that. Let's just keep it a buck. If you ball in 7-on-7 and some individual throws, great. I would rather you look good in the easy period than look nasty in the easy period. But let me just debunk and give you the contextual ideas behind what 7-on-7 is and how it applies to 11-on-11 football. Because the things that you forget, and it's the same reason why everybody, Myles Garrett isn't there. Myles Garrett don't need to be there. All you need Myles Garrett to show up. If Myles Garrett was there at 7-on-7, you couldn't get the ball off. They had this for us as defensive linemen. We don't respect 7-on-7 because when you do 7-on-7, you just saying, "Oh, we'll just take those guys out and we'll play with these dudes out." No. We affect the game a whole lot, my good sir. We affect the game and on a different level. You think Tom Brady is going to be back there doing what he wants by himself? No, we got something to say about that. It's called I'm in your face. 1, 2, 3. It's called your guy can't block me. 1, 2, 3. It's called we just blitzed you. You know what? It's called we disguised and rolled our coverage to the guy that we stop acting like this is the end all be all. And the problem is people don't even know this. People don't be knowing this. Yeah, we don't be knowing it. But we're going to expose that today. Let's talk a little bit. I want to talk. I'm going to tell you why as we watch this. 7-on-7 is nasty work. Does it have its purposes? Yes. But it also puts you in a situation where, thank you, was Denzel Ward at OTAs? It's different when Denzel Ward on people. Just think it is. But let me just tell you this. Here's why when you talk about 7-on-7 and what they are doing in OTAs and you talk about who's ahead, here's why it don't make no sense. Let's take a look at that. This link is in the description. Make sure you check this guy's channel out. It's a link in the description, and the whole video is really informative. A lot of it he's talking about college and high school, but I thought that I took this specific part because it really does a lot to explain what's going on with 7-on-7. So when you see all these dudes throwing the ball and so-and-so was balling and ahead, he had the best throws. Put this into some context. I'm just saying.
7-on-7 is ruining. Today we're going to be talking about if 7-on-7 is ruining football and why I feel 7-on-7 is one of the worst things that athletes can do in the offseason in some cases. So first thing I want to talk about with 7-on-7, you guys, is going to be the coaching within 7-on-7. Now, I don't think all 7-on-7 coaches are bad. I don't think all 7-on-7 programs are bad, but a lot of times you get a lot of dudes that maybe aren't the most well-versed in football. So like if you're in a situation where you're playing on a 7-on-7 team and the coach who's calling plays is not maybe an ex-quarterback, an offensive coordinator, a head coach for a high school, and he's just some guy that doesn't have a ton of experience, and the play concepts that you guys are running are unrealistic. They're not isolating defenders. They're like 7-on-7 plays with a million different crossing routes. That's going to be a total waste of your time because.
See what he said now. I already know where the people. Well, G. Bush, are you saying Todd Monken is not conducting 7? No. Are you saying the coaching is bad on 7? No. What I'm showing you is when guys are working out, throwing to receivers in the off season, when they're throwing to receivers in the off season, he was down there working out. The question is, what routes are you running? Who's coaching this up? Are you running a bunch of drags and slants that put you in a position that the defense can't cover and you just out here throwing the ball? That ain't gonna do you no good in the game. Or what type of looks are you? Are you just throwing 7-on-7 routes? Does that really do anything for you? I need you to be locked in and dialed in on a lot of different other things rather than seeing the route be successful. And a lot of times people are working with individual quarterbacks, individual guys, just throwing the random dudes, guys from other teams. Why are you throwing with guys from other teams? Guess what, bro? He ain't playing for, unless you getting him to get traded to your team. How does that work? Now you know how he coming out his breaks. You're throwing with him. At the end of the day, that's not what we're looking for. So that's number one. When you're doing these drills, are you doing it under duress? Are you doing it and you're running 7-on-7 with your plays? Are you doing it with intention? Are you doing it to put you in the worst position so you get the most out of it? Continue on. We just started.
Plays with a million different crossing routes, that's going to be a total waste of your time, because the whole goal of 7-on-7 is to prepare you for 11-on-11. That's why 7-on-7 was created in the first place. It's not even close to what it is nowadays.
Repeat that. 7-on-7 is created to get you ready to play 11-on-11, not the opposite way around. The end goal is 11-on-11. Not, hey, 7-on-7, and then that's a different thing. Let's go to 11. No. It's something to aid the end process. Here we go.
Now, another thing I don't like about 7-on-7 is the lack of emphasis on block training and the higher focus on random training. And I'll explain what both of those mean. Now, one thing I will want to say first is that I don't hate 7-on-7 completely. Like, I think 7-on-7 has a lot of positives, and we're going to get into that later on in the video as to why you should play 7-on-7.
This is very important. And I'll stop it here and I'm going to let it play out. First of all, 7-on-7 is not a bad tool. If done correctly and done with intentionality, it helps you. However, if you're not doing it correctly, or if you're putting too much emphasis on the way it looks, you can come out with a bad read. And I think what I'm going for is the media is coming out with a completely bad read because they don't understand what the 7-on-7 concept is and why Todd Monken was laughably upset. Because he knows, Todd Monken understands that 7-on-7 is supposed to look magnificent. You can't grab nobody. You can't push nobody. There is no pass rush. If you can't get it done when there's no timing, you're in trouble when the real bullets start flying. So let's go back and have him break this down, because I think this is very important for you to get. What are you trying to train when you're doing 7-on-7? And it's two different separate categories.
Block training and the higher focus on random training. And I'll explain what both of those mean. Now, one thing I will want to say first is that I don't hate 7-on-7 completely. Like, I think 7-on-7 has a lot of positives, and we're going to get into that later on in the video as to why you should play 7-on-7 in certain cases, but most cases for athletes, and this is at least from my experience, because what I do is I train quarterbacks and wide receivers, and quarterbacks and receivers are obviously, like, you know, I guess you'd say the focal point of 7-on-7, right? You need a quarterback, you need receivers to be able to have an offense, then obviously defensive players, etc. Like I mentioned, there's two types of training for athletes. You have block training and then you have random training. So block training is where you're focused on a specific skill. So let's say you're a quarterback and you have a really long, like, throwing motion, right? You need to block train to be able to make that throwing motion shorter. So you need thousands upon thousands of reps in a row of a good throwing habit or a good throwing motion to break that habit. And that goes for any type of skill athletically. You need to stack reps upon reps upon reps. It can be boring at times, but that's how you get better at specific areas that you lack in your game.
I know it's a little boring for y'all. I know ain't nobody gonna do no teaching. We don't get to it. See, here on the barbershop, we don't just do, hey, he's a good quarterback or a bad quarterback. We don't do that. We're going to give you and sit there and we're going to tell you and we're going to try to teach you and educate you on why there's a misconception with this and really break it down so you can understand. He's talking about as an athlete. He trains quarterbacks and he actually works with receivers and quarterbacks training. Block training. When you're doing, and everybody has block training, whether you're a defensive lineman, I'll go to myself. Block training. Somebody asks, who is this guy? We'll give you, hold on. I'll give you what we talking about. Because y'all people be, hold on. We gonna get to it. Let's see. Who is this guy? Let's see. All right. Hold yourself. Let me see. We're going to get to him. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's read. Oh, no, I'm going to do this. Hold on. All right, here we go. All right, we try to do, we try to give people their flowers. There we go. First down training. He trains receivers. He messes with receivers. He does quarterbacks. He does first down training. There you go. Make sure you go check him out. He has almost 500,000 subscribers. So just so you know, we're not just talking about regular people. So he does training and he has training videos. Go check it out. Link in the description. I had to do that. So let's keep
7-on-7. It's a very randomized training element, which means that it's very reactionary. And that's totally fine. You need to have that. But I think certain athletes do too much of that and don't focus on their actual skills. So they really don't get any better. And then when 11-on-11 rolls around, they haven't fixed those problems and they're not as efficient. Because guys, you could cheat 7-on-7. 7-on-7, you got 4 seconds to throw the ball. Quarterback can't roll out. You could throw these stupid play concepts and dump the ball off on a swing. Like, it's not realistic football in some cases. You can make it realistic, but for the most part, what I've seen, it's not. Now, with random training, like I said, it's a reaction. So you kick the ball and it's like, okay, let's say from a quarterback perspective, and you read a defender, he goes here, okay, I'm going to go and throw over here, but your mechanics are terrible, so you're not building any good habits. Quite frankly, you're stacking bad habit upon bad habit upon bad habit, and all of a sudden, that's just going to be the way you throw the ball, and you're going to be too far gone to be able to break that bad habit. And maybe your high school head coach wants to see you, hey, I need to see you fix this, or maybe a college coach, I need you to fix that.
When you talk about it, why this clip is important is it shows you the difference between block work and trading a skill block, right? And skill block is just basically anything. I compare it to me, right? This happens in college. You go through block work, right? And block work is, hey, G. Bush, your get off is too slow. Get off is just the way you explode off the line of scrimmage. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to train my eyes and ears and my body and my legs to have explosion off the line of scrimmage to generate thrust to get after a quarterback. Sometimes I used to have crutches in my game. Sometimes I didn't close the distance enough before I started my first move. Closing the distance is basically being like, hey, I need to close the gap between the offensive lineman and myself. So the ability now when I make my move, I can get past you. If I do my move too quick, I'm getting stonewalled at the line of scrimmage and I'm not going to get to the quarterback or get at the quarterback depth. Those are just things that we work on block work for defensive linemen. Sometimes your skill block is, hey, as a linebacker, Sometimes you get washed too easy. Getting washed means if you understand and read and diagnose and get to the play, but once you get to the play, you have a tendency to play with a high pad level, causing you to get washed past the play. So you know what they do? They work on certain things to have you hunker down and at the same time not over pursue, so you get washed. Couple examples where we talk about when it comes to defensive players. The reality of the situation is this. When you, now you could, no, actually that's very important. It's very important because when I'm showing this stuff, a lot of people will just throw different things out there. Oh, who is this guy? He doesn't really know. He doesn't really know. That's why when I talk about it, I back it up with multiple things. I'll give you what we used to learn in college, and I'll back it up what he said. Now, he says, and you are correct. You are correct. When you talk about the randomness, what you are coaching in 7-on-7 is random progressions. You're coaching randomness. So you go through your progressions. This guy's open, this guy's open, this guy's not open. Guess what? That's random. There's skills that you have that you can count on, and then there's randomness. Think about it. If I'm fast and I could cut and I could see and I work on my concrete things. The concrete things is, can you read a defense? The randomness is, can you throw it to the right person when the defense shows up at another place that you didn't expect? It all goes back to, remember what I talked about. It all goes back. So here you go. We understand the differences, and here's why you can get into trouble with 7-on-7 or reading too much into 7-on-7. Here we go.
What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to talk about a big problem that I have with 7-on-7. It's that time of year again. It's the time where everybody's joining their club team, but today we're going to talk about what actual 7-on-7 is supposed to do, what you're actually supposed to work on, and how today's game is kind of changed with whole 7-on-7. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down this first quarterback here, obviously a high school quarterback. So the whole point of 7-on-7 is to get you used to making reads, especially for quarterbacks, get you used to making reads, tying your feet to your eyes, going through progressions, right, being able to make fast reads. So it helps you in a game time scenario. What we're about to see as an example is something that is not going to help you in a game time scenario at all. So when he takes this drop here, one step drop, right? When it's a longer developing play in a game time scenario, you're going to have a pass rush here, and you're already not going to be able to see when you take this one step drop, right?
Again, he said a lot in the beginning. The goal of 7-on-7 is to get you to make reads faster. Somebody just put it up on the screen. The reason that they have cameras on their helmet is the coaches want to see what they see. And if you, in theory, if you can speed up the way they process information, it helps you out a lot. The reason why Coach Monken is very upset that, guess what, they're throwing interceptions in 7-on-7 is because of this. He's explaining to you, there is no pass rush. The receivers are not on draw or man-to-man coverage where they're getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. The defense is not holding. The defense is not showing you a different shell and rotating to a different thing. And by the way, the biggest part is those guys up there, the rushers, watch how he talks about it. When you make this step and you make this one-step drop, you're not marrying your feet. You're not marrying your feet to your eyes and to what the progression is. Huh? They're not doing that. That's the problem that you could have if you read too much into it, if you're not doing it the correct way. Let's bring it back. I'm going to let him talk. I'm not going to stop him. I'm going to let you get your notes ready. Let them get everything they need.
What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to talk about a big problem that I have with 7-on-7. It's that time of year again. It's the time where everybody's joining their club team, but today we're going to talk about what actual 7-on-7 is supposed to do, what you're actually supposed to work on, and how today's game is kind of changed with whole 7-on-7. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down this first quarterback here, obviously a high school quarterback. So the whole point of 7-on-7 is to get you used to making reads, especially for quarterbacks, get you used to making reads, tying your feet to your eyes, going through progressions, right, being able to make fast reads. So it helps you in a game time scenario. What we're about to see as an example is something that is not going to help you in a game time scenario at all. So when he takes this drop here, one-step drop, right? When it's a longer developing play in a game-time scenario, you're going to have a pass rush here, and you're already not going to be able to see when you take this one-step drop, right? So let's just assume he has the greatest offensive line in the world, and they hold right here. They don't even take a back step. They just hold the defensive line, right? Now we're going to watch what happens after that. One hitch, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if he has the greatest offensive line in the world, he's going to be getting popped right in the freaking mouth, or he's going to get stepped on, he's going to fall down, or he's not going to be able to see. One of the two, because he's a lot like me when I played. I wasn't the tallest quarterback in the world, right? But because it's 7-on-7, because nobody cares, because nobody coaches it right, he takes 7 hitches up to the line of scrimmage, which is right here. He almost crosses the line of scrimmage from inside the pocket. That screws up your timing. That's not realistic, and that's why guys come into and they're not prepared for the season. Even with 7 seconds to throw this ball, or however long you guys get, you can still take a 3-step drop. 1, 2, 3. A quick hitch, but you're resetting your feet. You're tying your feet to your eyes. You're not taking 100 different hitches up to the line of scrimmage, right? 1-step drop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he throws on the 7th one, right? Oh yeah, great throw. Gave your guy a chance. Hell of a catch, right? But you're sacked, or you're getting hit by your offensive line. It's completely unrealistic. That's not how you're supposed to play this game as 7-on-7, okay? That's not why it was made, and today the whole club scene and all the freaking hype around it is turning that into it. Let's watch it full speed, right? 1-step drop, 7 different hitches, right? Almost crosses the line of scrimmage. The greatest offensive line in the world, you're still going to get hit in the mouth.
He's a little pessimistic about it. I again say 7-on-7 has its place. It does. It has its place, but it also has its place in time. And if you're not watchful of it, the problem is, we always say, when you're watching 7-on-7, and as we break this thing down, if you watch 7-on-7 during practice and periods where you watch it and you got to go watch the film, coaches always say to the quarterbacks, if you got to hitch 2 or 3 times in 7-on-7, that play's dead. You hitch once, that play's dead. Somebody's breaking on the football. Somebody's doing something. And take Coach Monken, what Coach Monken is saying for this. Yeah, we threw interceptions 7-on-7, for God's sakes. It means, I mean, who does that? We bring it to the larger point. We bring it to the larger point, right? You say, okay, well, G-Bush, you don't like 7-on-7. Who cares? All right, well, cool. I don't like all kind of drills, right? But what else do we have to go off of? Here's what I'm telling you. Problem with 7-on-7 is not that they're doing it. It's the problem with is the diagnosis and the extrapolation of what it actually means to the layman. So what are you talking about? People don't know that Todd Monken gets nothing out of watching 7-on-7. He tells you he gets nothing out of watching 7-on-7 because you have who does that? There is no pass rush. I mean, it's embarrassing. No coach places any value on anybody completing passes in 7-on-7. None of them. You know why? They know it's placebo and it's not indicative of what an outcome will be. I agree. 7-on-7 absolutely favors the offense. There is no real pass rush. Quarterbacks are clean, and defenders at every level of football can't use their hands. That's not what 11-on-11 football is. And what you're trying to tell us is that what you saw at practice today and what you saw in 7-on-7 told you that so-and-so is leading the quarterback race. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? No, they didn't. It just told us that you don't know what you're talking about. The real football people is like, bro, you a real football person. If I went to Bernie Kosar and I hit Bernie up and I say, yo, Bernie, man, I was at practice today, dog. Whew. So-and-so was cooking in 7-on-7. He looked at me like I was a fool. I wouldn't even say nothing. I would be embarrassed to say him. He would be like, gee, I thought you was a football guy. Thought you 7-on-7. Why do you think And they keep saying, well, Miles is not there. Because it don't count. Everything that they're doing does not move the needle at all. At all. And I'm going to show you how. Through context, I'll continue to tell you. Nothing really changed other than it's a different day and you're firing the same questions. Monken said, not G. Bush said, not conspiracy theorist said. Todd Monken himself at cameras in Berea in his brown and orange Browns gear said nothing really has changed other than it's a different day and you're firing the same questions. I mean, we're going to rotate those guys and play the best guy we'll see. How do you find out what the best guy is? On air, or which guy can get around Myles Garrett and throw the football in 2 seconds? How do we find out who the best guy is? Who they can throw to somebody wide open that you can't touch him? Or can you throw after Myles Garrett rushes you, you step up in the pocket, Carson Schwarzenegger's looking at you in the face, you know you're going to take a hit, you got to let it fly with no separation to Denzel Ward in the corner of the end zone. That's how you find out if somebody is good. Not the rookies who decided that they couldn't work out nowhere else, got together, came to OTAs, and you're throwing the ball to the rookies versus what? What? Guys, you have to be a little smarter than that. But I'm telling you, it comes down to this. They said Dylan Gabriel was the supercomputer. That's how you know it'd be for. You said Dylan Gabriel is the supercomputer. And the real ones that watch Dylan Gabriel at every stop. See, y'all, what y'all got to understand is they didn't watch these guys in college. That's the part that screams. Understand, half the reason I be so perturbed is when you ask them about their opinions. See, you're a man without a country. Listen, what Avon tells Stringer Bell? You too soft for the streets, but you ain't smart enough for the real world, the real business world. Y'all cats are still in y'all cats are still letting Clay Davis fleece you out of 250 big large ones. And then you so stupid, you think you can go back at Clay Davis and get him up out of here. Lawyer said, psst. Hey, Slim Charles said, the Clay Davis? The Clay Davis downtown? I mean, I'm all for getting rid of somebody, but there's some assassination type stuff. Avon came in there like, hey, big dog. Hey, Slim gonna have to sit this one out. You got rain made, String. Y'all getting rain made today. How is it that you call somebody the supercomputer when you didn't see him play at UCF? I did. Watched him a lot. You didn't see him play at Oklahoma. I did. Watched him a lot. Went to Oregon. We seen what that was. I watched the tape. We broke down the tape. I seen him in practice with my own two eyes. Pulled up on him. I said, absolutely not. If that's the supercomputer, well, what is Peyton Manning them then? The problem is this. You could take your car to a regular mechanic all you want. Take your car down to Midas or Pet Boys. That's cool. You can't you can't bring no Lamborghini in there. You can't bring no foreign in there. You can't bring none of that in there. You know why? It's a difference between a mechanic and somebody that change oil. It's a difference between somebody that can know how to take some brakes off a Toyota. But when you got that suspension that you need over here, they ain't got the tools for it. That's the problem. How can you tell me who the quarterback is if you don't know what you're looking at? How can you tell me who ahead of a quarterback drills when you don't know what the drill is supposed to do? How can you tell me who the quarterback is? I feel this person is winning because they won 7-on-7. You keep telling on yourself and they keep laughing all the way to the bank because you don't know the tools, the tricks, you don't understand it. You don't get the infrastructure. You out here watching practice to a layman talking about who you say look better throwing the ball. He throws a nice ball. Does that matter if it's going to the wrong team? He looked good in 7-on-7. Does that matter if there's no pass, if there's a pass rush? Come on, guys. And in the way I do it, bring this up, G. Bush. Give them the analogy. This is why my stuff is different. You guys continue. Let's talk about the 7-on-7 isn't real football. Say it all together, boys and girls. 7-on-7 isn't real football, G. Bush. Let's talk about it so the haters can catch on and figure this out. It looks like football, but it does not prepare you for football. Let's talk about 7-on-7. What you get. There are fewer players, less reads, less chaos. No full speed tackling avoids real contact. More space, easier throws, easier plays. Simplified coverages, defenses are watered down. Less physicality does not build real toughness. And guess what? Shorter games, less time to solve real world problems. Let's talk about what real 11-on-11 football is for all the people in the back who just don't. This is what it's called to break it down and get into it. I'm just showing y'all. I don't want to sit here and talk to y'all 5, 6, 7,000 times about, well, if Todd Monken feels this, or I just think that we spend all this time talking about with Coach Prime going to visit Todd Monken. Goes me to show me you don't know what you're talking about. Let's talk. 11-on-11, what you need. A full team play. Say that again. Say that again, big dog. What do you need on 11-on-11? Full team play. More reads, real teamwork. See, when a quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage, the center, the quarterback of the offense, is going to be looking at the defense. They both have to diagnose what defensive front they're in as far as the defensive line, and they're going to have to make reads based on the checks at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, you balled in 7-on-7, but guess what? You got to deal with a play clock counting down. You got to deal with people coming in motion. You got to deal with, okay, I got to come to the line of scrimmage and diagnose who's coming, who's not going, who's dropping, and anticipating. Now I got to, do I need to audible? Do I need to check hot? Who's my hot guy? What's my hot key? And you still got to do this in 24 seconds and still get your drop while people is chasing you. And if one person doesn't see the same thing you saw, AKA the receiver, you throw it to a spot because you thought it was zone, but it wasn't. They fooled you. And it was a guy standing right there looking at you, ready to intercept the ball. There's levels to this, people. Maybe we want to do narrative football, but I'm just going to tell you and try to teach you. Full contact. Built for the hits. It's easy throwing the ball on a 7-step drop. It's easy throwing the ball on a 5-step drop in air. Can you complete that pass with a helmet in your ribs? I don't know. How do you find out if you can complete a pass with helmet in the ribs? How do you figure out whether or not you're skittish in the pocket? How do you figure out if you're seeing ghosts because you've been hit all game and you got a clean pocket for once? You got one chance to throw the football. How do you know that? Unless you get hit. I'll continue to go on. I didn't know they was getting hit in 7-on-7. I'm just talking. I'm bringing it all the way home. There's a difference between what I'm doing and what you're doing. Stop comparing yourself to G. Bush. He's doing this. He's saying this. Listen, you need to come up here and get your pads ready. We talking real football today. We talking real ball today. Not just I trusted somebody who told me that I'm not going to mention your name because the name might not exist in real. No, don't you do that, G. Bush. Tight spaces. Because it's 7-on-7 and it's 11-on-11, there's tighter spaces, harder throws, harder to run. And guess what? As a defensive lineman, we're taught, 3-step, I'm reading you 3-step. You got to 3 steps, guess what we're going to do? I'm getting my hands up. I'm obstructing your vision. You're a shorter quarterback, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it sure we keep you in the pocket. You know what they did to Dylan Gabriel? And other than people telling him he's a supercomputer, what they should have been doing is telling you, hey, G. Bush, what do you think about Dylan Gabriel from the perspective of defensive lineman? Well, listen, go ahead and play Dylan Gabriel. I don't even want to blitz Dylan Gabriel. You know what we want to do? We want to enclose him in the pocket. His lineman, average offensive lineman, is about 6'5". Dylan Gabriel is way less than 6'5". I'm going to be nice and call it 5'9" or something, whatever the case may be. And average defensive lineman is 6'3", 6'4". And guess what we're going to do? You're going to have to find a window in between your 6'5", 300-pound lineman over top of our 6'4". That's why people talk about reach, arm reach, defensive lineman, hands up here. Huh? Yeah. We're going to make sure Dylan Gabriel got to throw over people. That's why for some organizations, this is a non-starter. We can't, unless you have elite playmaking ability, crazy speed, and a shotgun cannon arm, you can't play this game under 6 foot as a quarterback because it's just too difficult. You got to have elite traits. Complex defenses. Looks like Friday night. Yeah, we give it. You think 7-on-7 is the same thing they giving you in that game? I done seen safeties run from the box all the way back to a deep zone. They're not doing it at 7-7. Are the defensive linemen stunting and twisting? Are the defensive linemen putting 7 guys at the line of scrimmage, and as a quarterback, you have to die? First game of the year, Shedeur Sanders against the Baltimore Ravens put 9 dudes at the line of scrimmage and said, you decide which one is coming. You decide who's dropping in the coverage. You decide who's blitzing. That's football. But I might add, they did that against Baltimore. And the very next game, the Raiders tried to do that, and he torched them for a touchdown. Small, in a real game, in a game. Bill's toughness and mentality physically, bro. It's easy for Jerry Jeudy wouldn't come back to the football on an interception, let alone with people hitting him. That's the problem. How you not come back to the football? See, this is the thing. That's a habit. That's a habit. That's a habit. Why you not come back to the football? The reason Jerry Jeudy didn't come back to the football is because he knows his consequences when you come back to the football. Are you built for catching the ball, taking punishment, and being cool with it? Everybody ain't built like that. But I couldn't tell you that unless you've been hit before. See, it's easy to say, oh, Jerry Jeudy is soft. Okay, well, let me put a helmet and shoulder pads on you and let me run at you full speed, and you got to come into the blow. Why you got to respect it. Wouldn't it be funny if they made you have to go through 2 days before we became a reporter or journalist? The media Hunger Games. You got to take a hit from your peers. Y'all gonna have to fight this out. Y'all gonna have to make it to 2 days before y'all get to a point, right? And longer game stamina adjustments and grit. It's the adjustment part, man. 7-on-7, as we finish this up, and I got to give you an analogy because that's what we do. That's what we do. 7-on-7 doesn't build what 11-on-11 requires. Here's the barbershop analogy of today. Matter of fact, you guys can sponsor that. The barbershop analogy today is brought to you by. Look at that. That's nice, man. I can put your name in there. Go ahead and put your name in there. We can set that sponsorship up. Barbershop analogy today. 7-on-7 is like getting a haircut in your bathroom. You have limited tools, no real experience, looks okay in the mirror, not built for a real standard. You get out in the public, somebody say, from the front, the lineup look crisp, but then in that back, it ain't faded properly. It ain't blended. The taper ain't blended on this left side. You had it in the mirror. You're trying to get yourself together. Well, you know what you need to do? Go ahead and spend a couple extra dollars and get it all the way together. Or would you, if you got to go to the biggest interview of your life, would you cut your own hair and skimp on some dollars? I hope you wouldn't. 11 on 11 is like getting a pro cut. Real tools, real experience, held to a higher standard, and ready for any stage. You know what they take at any stage as viable? A real game in high school. They're not going to come to your practice. They're going to take a look at your real film if you want to go to college. Real film in college. They're not going to come to the spring game. They're not coming to your 7-on-7. They're coming and they're going to get that game film. What did you do October 12th against Texas Tech? That's what they're going to do. And in the league, we're going to watch the all 22. Don't nobody care about your highlights. Yeah, you caught a touchdown, but you ran the route 3 times wrong. That's the analogy, right? You can practice all you want, but until you're in the real barbershop, you're not ready. Oh, that was good, man. That was good. That was good. Let me finish this out the right way. Just don't look like a player. Be a player. Earn it in the barbershop. And this is why we are who we are. Huh? This is why we are who we are over here. Let y'all know, guys. I'm letting you guys know. People that's sitting here telling you it's a travesty. People that's sitting here telling you they're going to make their mind up by tomorrow. People that's telling you they didn't already made their mind up is doing one or two things. Being extremely naive and telling on themselves that they don't understand the process of how you get guys ready to play football, or intentionally telling you that because it is what it is. We ain't got nothing to talk about, so we got to make some conversation. I think it's a little bit of both. No, everybody that plays football understands that you don't find nothing about no players in shorts and T-shirts and helmets. It's the exact same way why nobody really... Where's all the big names at? Always remember this. When everybody talking about, oh, they done named the player, named the coach, name this, name that, go back and look at the other professional players that really did it at a high level. You don't even hear them talking about nothing right now. You know why? Because it's a non-starter. We talk. People say, G. Bush, you going to OTAs? Why? My name is Garrett. If Myles Garrett ain't there, Garrett ain't there. if Myles Garrett ain't there, Garrett's not there. You know why? It's placebo. By the way, buy my mixtape. It's fire. Mixtape is crazy. In stores. It's on SoundCloud as well. Download that. Why would I do that? Why would I be? Why? No. Where are you? Think about what they're trying to do to you. Think about what they're doing. Think about this. Remember when scrimmages used to actually matter? Because they was actually playing against other people? Now they say, oh, scrimmages really ain't it. It's the inter squad games. By the way, the Buffalo Bills will be here. And the reality of the situation is this. Let me just tell y'all this from Jump Street. You got a brand new playbook, a brand new offense, brand new skill receivers. Why would a new coach come in and has not seen any of y'all run his stuff that he wants? Don't even understand if you understand the concepts of what he wants to do. Why would he come in and give away the most important job and they don't even have the whole team there They don't have none of the offense already implemented, and he ain't even seen you go against nobody in the opposite color jersey. Matter of fact, he ain't seen you going against your best you got in your own jerseys. He hasn't seen you go against you got a top 5 defense. You got a top 5 defense in this league. You don't even want to see him go against your top 5 defense when it counts? Absolutely not. This is what makes me so upset about this noise and talk. Because nowadays we let people who don't understand what it is to go through this process to dictate the process. How is it that you ain't a doctor? How is it the doctor gonna give you a rehab and ain't never been no doctor? Yeah, well, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna rehab you. We're gonna get you on the bike. We're gonna stretch you out. No, bro, you got to go to school for that. You don't get to just prescribe no medication. How is it that you're prescribing medication and you ain't never been no doctor? And you just said, I like medicine. So because you like medicine, you could just start giving out medicine? Absolutely not. You'll end yourself right in jail. You can't even be giving advice. But you telling me you done already known what is going to happen. You done diagnosed, you done seen it. What? Let me tell you this. And I told this with Darren the other day. The issue with Deshaun Watson wasn't that he didn't look good in practice when he was here before. The problem wasn't could he throw the wide open receivers in practice? The problem wasn't did the ball look good coming out of his hand, or could he call a play in the huddle? Those are prerequisites. Of course it will be. He's a professional football player. You don't think he could throw the ball? Listen, it's guys right now that Tom Brady can get up out of there in his bed and throw a nice football today. And to the layman, it looked like he should be playing in the league. The problem wasn't that. The problem with Deshaun Watson when he was actually playing was the simple fact that Deshaun Watson, when the bullets started flying, when the pass rush started getting to him, when his timing, when his rhythm, when his confidence, when his cadence, when the ball placement, when the accuracy, when the mobility floundered under pressure. You tell me nothing about what's happening if I don't put pressure on you. Everybody is good sitting here at room temperature 72 degrees in your own house. I don't care if you do something well. Put some pressure on it. Put some pressure on it. All right, man. If you make this free throw, you get $1 million. All of a sudden, 90% free throw to shooters in their mind go to 12. Negative or positive consequences. You miss this free throw, you're going to jail for 5 years. All of a sudden, that little free throw that you're sitting up there that you didn't hit 1,000 times in your mind, a little bit deeper than rap, ain't it? How you find about people's intestinal fortitude in football is this. And this is why I love football, because I can talk my talk and tell you this. Half of it is, can you do something that most people can't do under pressure, under duress, and in pain? Can you throw a slant route when the game depends on it, when you done already got a dislocated ring finger on your throwing hand? You need to get out of pressure. You need to slide in the pocket, but can you do it? Because you just had your knee drained before the game. They think you got a partially torn MCL. You had to brace it up to get there. You got turf toe on your left toe. You know good and well you can't get out, but can you buy enough time? And at the same time, can you block out the cloudiness and the pain and what your parents saying, and your marriage is going wrong, and you owe a little bit of money somewhere else, and everybody wants you to expect something from you, but can you get that done? And by the way, you threw 2 interceptions already, but today, for that moment, it didn't matter. I got it done. If you can't do that, you ain't it. And the only way to find out is if you it, to go through it. So for all the people Be running around here talking about whose job you done got. I hate to break it to you. It's not the way it worked. It's never worked that way. It will always be this way. Always. Always. And guess what? At the end of the day, I keep trying to tell everybody like this. Why does it seem like I'm the only one that's happy about competition? Why am I the only one that don't seem to want to fast forward the competition? Why am I the only one that's sitting here like, I'm relaxed. I ain't got you ain't see me crashing out nowhere about no competition. The problem with a lot of people is y'all say competition because it's what you were supposed to say. You say you like competition because you know that if you said you didn't like competition, people might frown upon that a little bit because you've been always preaching that it's about competition. But in reality, 90% of these people want no competition. 90% of the people in the world want the path of least resistance. Nobody wants to sweat. Nobody want to do no extra work. Nobody want to fight through no pain. Nobody want no conflict. Nobody want to argue. People want the easiest path to resist it. They want to just get through it. So that's why when you say it's nasty and out of work, just give the position to them today. Really? Why? Because you got an artificial timetable in your mind? The artificial, arbitrarily, I think it would be better. Stop. It's not the way the game works. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I mean, 2,171. Let's be real. Let's keep it a buck. Mick Purnell, 8936. What happened to the days of the Cleveland media being for the team and not against the team? Hashtag New Cleveland. It became more lucrative to be against the team. It's more lucrative to be against the team. Because I've tried to explain this. Back in the day, there was no disincentive to be positive. Now there's a disincentive, right? You're going to get more clicks because it's negative. You're going to get more clicks because it's more reactional. You're going to get more everything because that's just what the nature of the game is today. People telling the truth and breaking it down. I'm going to give you an example. Whatever I told you today in this blog, right? Whatever we talked about and whatever we said right here today in this blog, it's not as going to be hot if I just came on here and just gave you all kind of receipts and called out 5 people by name. To be honest with you, I very rarely put anybody on thumbnails. I don't even really mention people's name by name. Because I realized, for what? If I tell you guys not to care about it or disregard it, I'm not going to just put them people's names on thumbnails just so it could be, oh, let me see what G. Bush said about this person. See what I'm saying? But it's never going to hit the same. It's just not. Mick, it ain't. If I came on here and put everybody on the thumbnail and made it look real cool, no, I don't really care like that. Because at the end of the day, my job is to educate. You came here to get something. I'm just trying to come and show you that when you're watching this stuff, think about it like this. Understand what you're watching. Understand what you're seeing. So that when Todd Monken tells you something, people just keep glossing over what the man is saying and keep asking the same questions. Like he didn't just already tell you. He didn't already told you what he thought. You keep asking the same stuff, bro. Asking the same stuff. J-Mac Too Fresh. Gifted 5 Garrett Bush memberships. We appreciate you, J-Mac. We appreciate you, my dog. Shout out and thank you for everybody who received the memberships. We just had members only with Darren on the other week. We'll have Sean King coming up next week. We just going to continue to work. Speaking of, I got to keep telling y'all. Let me put this up here. Great opportunity to talk about it. Give me a second. I got to keep pubbing. We keep working, man. We just working. People say, well, G. Bush, when you going to quit? Man, I ain't quitting. I ain't never quitting. We going to keep cooking. We got a whole network over here. Keep talking your stuff. Let me see. Man, I always put that one up. It's always the one. Rosie, remind me to delete that. Remind me to delete that because the names is backwards on it. And they got G. Bush and Tyvus on there. Be like, it's Tyvus. No, that's not me. Let me see if this one's right. There we go. Make sure you check us out every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the Barbershop YouTube channel. Me, myself, Tyvus. We got some special guests coming up for y'all. We just got reached out to somebody. Shout out, man. We got a big shout out. Shout out to Raphael Sadiq. I mean, that Raphael Sadiq. The Tony Raphael Sadiq. The legend himself. Like, man, this dude, man, shout out to him, man. He's a big supporter of the show. That's why I love it. I didn't even know. Listen, we was talking to each other in our group chat, man. And so Earl happened to know a guy who knew Raphael Sadiq, but man, I'm a big fan back to Lucy Pearl. I'm a big fan back to Tony. I'm a big fan of his solo career. I mean, come on, man. That's, to me, one of the baddest musicians of all time. Tony. Shout out to Raphael Sadiq. He's a big supporter of the Barbershop, big fan of the Final Cut. So hopefully, blessings, we get an opportunity to get him on the show and get him on and talk a little bit about his music career. But if y'all never come on, we appreciate him loving and supporting and showing love because, man, I'm like, well, I'm one of his biggest fans of all time. If you know, it never rained in Southern California. Stop playing. They didn't remix. I'm waiting to see the royalties from that. You know how many times they didn't remix that? Shoot. Shout out to Raphael Sadiq, though, by the way, man. We cooking over here, man. We cooking. We just trying. It's a blessing. Let me show you what else we got coming up tomorrow. Don't play. We still got other stuff that we putting on, too. We got to show you. That's on Wednesdays, 6 p.m. But tomorrow is coming up. I got my sister-in-law. Now I know that, I'm married to a Filipina. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rosie, right? But let me just tell you this. I got my other sister-in-law, Mylene. She pulling up tomorrow, top 5. So you done seen my brother, me, Bryson, and Trent, 2 p.m. Eastern every single Sunday. Mylene is coming on. Bryson's wife, boy, she is a riot. We got a special list planned for y'all. So y'all like family time, pull up, man. The last 2 episodes, Mom, the See You aunties have pushed my mom across the finish line. That episode has now outdone my father's episode, and I thought he was cooking. My Bush came on there with that See You auntie energy, and she was cooking. So shout out to her as well. Make sure you check us out tomorrow, 2 p.m. Anthony LaFair. So trade 95, but keep 4. Make it make sense. Didn't what's the name say that? Andrew Berry said, listen, I'm tired of wasting my breath on this. The problem is, if you would advocate trading Myles Garrett, if you believe that the Browns aren't good. Because nobody would trade one of the best defensive players in the world if you think you're close to winning. The problem is a lot of people in the media who write don't believe the Browns are close to winning. So, of course, they're going to advocate trading Myles Garrett. J-Mac 2 Fresh salute G Bush, a.k.a. Big Circus, double wrist up, JSU Unk in the shop. You know what it is. We appreciate you for the gift of the membership. You know what it is, Big Circus. Man, the biggest in the circus, man. Matter of fact, go check out that mixtape. Download my mix. I'm telling you, it's fire. Crazy. Miss Duke, one of me. Can this young team move on from Deshaun Watson, move on from the DW4 2020 season? I told people all the time. I've already said I believe that they're rehabilitating Deshaun Watson's career. I believe they're trying to give him a runway, and I believe that they really feel like they was trying to get him up out of here. So it's the same way the Browns have done this before. Kenny Pickett, they moved him at the beginning part of this. Not saying that they'll move Deshaun Watson, but what they're doing is they're doing a good job of showing that he could play football. And so now when you echo that he could play football, it's two things. It shows other teams that you're invested, that you really like the fact that he can play ball. And the other part about it is you can actually say, well, if Shedeur Sanders beats out Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson was leading all camp, can you then turn around and write that Shedeur didn't deserve the job? No. That's why I love competition, because it weeds something out. You can't say nothing was fixed, rigged. You can't say nothing. If you said this dude was looking good and he was playing well and you got beat out by him, that means you got to give that dude his credit. Got to. Genius Productions. Funny how Cleveland media told us Todd Monken would be the worst choice as a head coach. We see why. He is making them all look like clowns. I love it. He continues because he's not going to play even some of the little light games that he was willing other coaches play with you. They came in and tried to intimidate this man. Let me tell you how they try to intimidate this man. Even by the lines of questioning. The line of questioning, well, we've seen other coaches and how that's derailed them when they let the outside noise. No. Again, learn the tactics, people. Nobody is talking about the outside noise tactics but us. You create the nonsense, then report on the nonsense, and then deliver the nonsense to the person. You see what I'm saying? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a loop. You make a big deal out of stuff that you think is supposed to be a distraction. Then you all report on the distraction, and then you deliver the distraction to the doorstep and say, see, you want to deal with that? And Todd Monken was fun with it. He said, I will not be held hostage to your storylines. I don't care nothing about what y'all talking about. As a matter of fact, it's a reason I get paid so much money. I said, okay. Yeah, y'all ran into the right one. Todd Monken has been a lifetime coordinator for his whole career. He's like, if you going to mess my joy up, you think you going to mess me up? They run around here talking about he won't be here by the time the new stadium. Came in and told y'all exactly. Y'all keep asking these same questions. You think I'm worried about y'all? Better stop. Brody's bottom line. First time I listened to UCSS, they still got clowns on the show. Bulls family praying. Tell Bulls family I'm praying for him. R.I.P. Rob Bass. It takes two, man. Shout out to Rob Bass. Definitely prayers out to Adam the Bull, going through something with his family. So prayers out to him. So my prayers go to him and Bull and everybody else. We'll get him back on the show. So, definitely Brody's bottom line. We appreciate you as well. Sandra speak. I have faith and trust the process, but I know the fact that some of the CU aunties already have Jaguars, Saints, Falcons tickets. So Shedeur needs to start. Hey, listen, you so crazy. You know it's crazy. Coach Prime hit me up. This is like after the interview, he was like, man, he really liked the interview, called me, and I talked to him a long time on the phone. And man, this man has a unique spirit of unbotheredness. I'll just say that. He's not panicked in any way, shape, or form. Actually, he's very relaxed. I'll just leave it at that. The beard man. What's up, G. Bush? The paper trail has been set. No. He's setting that paper. That's what they're doing. They're setting the paper trail. Mm-hmm. You know how it is when they get that PIP? All that is a paper trail. We tried to really work with you. We've done some things to eliminate things off your plate. And it just seems as if you're not catching on. I don't know if there's anything going on specifically, But, you know, we put this plan in place that really was supposed to set you off on a trajectory. Shut up. Don't worry about it, Susie. I already got me another job. Yeah, that 2 weeks PTO I took, yeah, I took that last week. I was down there interviewing. And no, I don't want to do an exit interview. RMAC 2 Dog G, but you think, yep, remember we heard this earlier. Rehabilitation is a thing. And if you don't believe, Jimmy Haslam gave Kareem Hunt 2 chances, opportunities. He was the first person to line up after his incident. Multiple cases with Josh Gordon. He was the one who went out and stamped OBJ. Like, Myles Garrett, like, yo, I don't even want to be on the squad. Trade me. He's like, nah, we'll give you a contract, dog. Jimmy Haslam is a dude who he whether people want to like it or not, he gives people opportunities and second chances at certain things. So, we ballin' says, as I come back as a cornerback, I don't care. We trying to lock you up in 7-on-7. Todd as a head coach would make me mad as a defender. Hey, we ballin'. Here's the thing. Them 7-on-7s, sometimes you ever had that defensive coordinator? We ain't about to have all that. Nah, bro, we about to go out here and compete. After a while, when they keep completing this stuff, and we don't like when people be talking that trash. As defense, you know 7-on-7 set up for them to win, but they be doing too much trash talking. You'd be like, okay, well, let's lock you up. How's about I grab you a little bit back on this back 7? And all of a sudden, when them footballs getting deflected or interception, now all of a sudden we moving around. We're gonna take that to the crib. And think about it. Everybody on the offense be like, man, this is deflating. That's how quickly we can ratchet up that pressure. And we ain't even got the D-line out here. You know that you can't read nothing into that. Anything to fear, protect your peace. Don't react to everything. Sometimes I don't even see everything. You see it? I ain't see nothing. Browns media, new narrative is Deshaun Watson soft launched the starting quarterback. All the clips coming out the past session, almost all Deshaun Watson. Only 2 from 2 and 1 from Dylan Gabriel. But what they not showing is all the miscompletions from Deshaun Watson. Nancy, let me just tell you this. I'm going to ask you a question. What if that's by plan? What if that's by design? Right now, if you think about it, now let me know if I got some thinkers out here. Let me know if I got somebody that really understands where I'm going with this. If you got 2 quarterbacks that the media really don't like either one of them, what way could you lighten the criticism on both of them at the same time? I'm going to just explain it like this. If you blow up Shedeur Sanders and say that he's the #1 quarterback right now and show all his pictures and everything, all you're going to get is the same conversation that we had with Shedeur Sanders prior to this. He's entitled. He's not that good. He's the worst quarterback ever. We need another quarterback. If you come out here and you blow Deshaun Watson up and you say he's going to be great, or we play all his pictures and he's the #1 quarterback, what are you going to have? You're going to have people saying, well, what about the allegations? What about the last time we seen him play? We don't want to see him play. I don't want to talk to him. Why don't we get him rid of him? Why ain't he on the team? Okay. But if you were smart, you were a strategist, you would be vague. And you would say, well, listen, we're going to give Deshaun and Shedeur an opportunity. And if you do that, you give both Deshaun and Shedeur an opportunity, you divide the criticism. You really can't jump out and be mad at Deshaun Watson and say, why is he playing? Because they didn't say he was playing. They just said he was getting an opportunity. You can't then go to him and pick his answers apart because they won't let you talk to him. As a matter of fact, doesn't it seem like Shedeur is going 0 dark 30? Last time I seen him post anything was about God, and that was it. So you can't really be mad at him. Matter of fact, they're not even showing his clips. So my thing is, if you really wanted to have a competition and really have some peace of mind, and you don't have to deal with the narrative-based content, you know what you would do? You do exactly what they're doing now, because now there's no obvious target. And if you don't have an obvious target and you don't have an obvious landmark in the sky, you end up wandering around in circles. That's why you actually need a compass in the woods. Everything looks the same, don't it? And then you realize, I just walked in circles and miles around. Funny how that works. We'll see if y'all got that. When is someone going to hold Jerry Jeudy accountable? When they get to training camp and Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston is catching the ball. Oh, by the way, Harold Fanning Jr. probably will be the number 1 target. That's what happens. Oh, the accountability is he don't have that much guaranteed money on his contract. So next year at this time, he might be looking for a new team if he doesn't play in the contract year. That's the accountability. Nancy says also knew if they're even Deshaun Watson because of experience. I always talk about this. Experience is one thing. Can you get it done is another. Experience says I played well last year. Experience was in the past. Yes, I experienced that. Yeah, I was good in the past. What did I have to do with today? It's the first urgency of today. The reality of the situation when Deshaun Watson got here, it was, and guess what? I wish him the best of luck. I want him to play as best as he can. If he can win a job, go win it. But the last time I was here, it looked like the speed of the game was there. It looked like the speed of the game was an issue. It looks like it was rusty. It looks like he lost. When you talk about it, when you are a quarterback and the speed of the game looked fast for you because he sat out a year in Houston. That's 1 year away from football. He got suspended another 11 games, could not be in the facility, he could not practice. He came back the next year. He played 6 games that next year and had a shoulder injury. He came back again after the shoulder injury and towards Achilles twice. He's had almost 3 years, almost 4 years of inactivity, and he needs to come back and be able to do that with the speed of the game right now. That's the obstacle. The experience is the problem. It's the speed of the game. Is he going to be up to that? Who knows? But there's sure as heck ain't going to find out about it throwing the ball with shorts. DB Dog, as a cornerback, I use 7-on-7 to work on my technique, hip drop, cleaning up false steps, different hand placement, press, etc. The more receivers I face, the better, taller, stronger, quicker. That helped me. You know, that's a very important aspect that you say right there, because as a defensive back, it's about understanding the premise of the drill and not playing the drill. If you just worried about the outcome and you like, oh, I want to just jump this route to look good. No, you're not getting any better because you're not going to do that in the game. Don't play the drill. Don't play the play. Work on your technique. Work on the process. The process is what you're looking at. 7-on-7 could be great, but what you need, DB Dog, and as you know from being a former player at a very high level, you understand that, hey, bro, don't come out here playing the drill. And what do you mean by playing the drill? You know where the weaknesses are in the drill. You know what's realistic in that drill and what's not realistic. And if you're sitting here playing to win the drill, you're going to end up hurting yourself, because in the game, you're not going to get them luxuries. Work on your technique. Work on your eye placement. Work on your landmarks. Work on all those things that make you a better player one-on-one. And a lot of times in the great players are supposed to be working on the small things. It's just like being in batting practice. You don't go in batting practice in the major leagues and see how many home runs you can hit. You go to batting practice and say, hey, coach, I want you to throw me away. I'm a practice going the opposite way. I'm a practice staying on top of the ball with my shoulder there. Boom. Hey, listen, I don't have, my bat speed ain't been good enough to catch up to the inside fastball. Let me throw me inside on fastballs, and I'm going to work on pulling the ball. You know what? Okay, cool. I'm going to work on, I've been trying to pull the ball way too much. I'm going to work on every hit I hit. Every time I get in here, I'm going up the middle. I'm going up the middle. Hey, I can't hit a curveball. Let me work on the delay and drive. Let me work on the delay. See, a lot of y'all cats don't be understanding. A lot of y'all dudes don't be understanding. I really be doing this. My dad was my baseball coach since I was like 6. The first sport I played was baseball. I was going to play baseball in college. If it wasn't the fact that I was trying to double major and play football, it gets kind of hard when they jump 6-7 miles an hour and that curveball start to be dropping off the table. You're like, whoa, they got it like that up in here? Yeah. But we taught this sports talk all the time, bro. I mean, I really did that. All of them. People talk about, G. Bush, I saw you talking basketball. Bro, I played basketball in high school. The most winning Division I program in state history. And I played small forward. I wasn't no power. I played small forward. When people always see me in real life, they always say, dang, G. Bush, I didn't know you was that tall. I thought you was shorter than them UCSS chairs. I said, don't let them UCSS chairs fool you. I'm a whole 6'5". Let them know if you done seen me in real life. Put it in the comment section. People be like, yeah, it'd be fun. I knew it was you, but dog, I didn't know you was that tall. I said, man, I used to play basketball, bro. What are you talking about? I just thought I'd be letting people get their money off. I don't toot my own horn. I don't do that a lot. Squizarm says, when was the daytime someone asked about Batonio? I mean, I ain't heard Batonio in a while. Shout out to Joel, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Joel, by the way. Alexander Gallant, Coach Monken is not going to accept sloppy football from offense at any level of practice. Both quarterbacks are playing as if he's starting. This is what I like, Alexander Gallant. I want him out there drilling. I don't care who at quarterback. I want it perfect. I want it perfect. No footballs hit the ground. If the footballs hit the ground, get back on the line. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is way too many false starts, way too many pre-snap penalties. The one situation that I know for a fact that Todd Monken uses, and if you would have known, you watched the barbershop, we talked about the motion in Todd Monken's offense. He's gonna use that motion. And you know what you have to be when you use emotion? You have to be disciplined and understanding. If you're going to get off the line of scrimmage, check off who's on the line of scrimmage. You can't have too many people in the backfield. You can't have too many people moving at once. You can't have illegal procedures. You can't have false starts. So we got to rep that now. If you want to use motion, you got to perfect motion. Ain't no, I didn't hear what he was supposed to say. I saw the wrong thing. Nah, bro. Run that back right now. Because if you can't get it done now, what we going to do in November at Pittsburgh? Huh? G. Bush, don't piss me off. 7-on-7 is real for skill position players, maybe not the quarterback. See? I'm telling you. Hey, we be looking around. I'm like, you know what we used to do when they went 7-on-7? D lineman, ain't go over here passing the ball. Oh, that look cute. That's cute. Let me line up on this edge over here. I guarantee that look different. Again, 7-on-7 has its place in time. It teaches you a lot of different things. Get through your progressions, all that, see it, throw it, all that good stuff. But don't never get it twisted. 11-on-11 is what the game is. Real Night King. 7-on-7 is great clips. 11-on-11 is actual barbershop. It just don't match up. You know what it is, man. Clips. This is why we do long form videos. You guys are doing clips. No disrespect. And y'all cats be having 5 dudes with y'all. Y'all got 5 people. Hey, Rosie, how many people it is? It's just what? How many people? It's just me and Rosie. You got somebody that's answering the phone. You got a producer that done wrote all the topics. You got another producer just for all the graphics. You got 2 hosts, not 1 host, 2 hosts. You got a dude that's doing updates in 2020s. You got another dude that's switching the camera. We got 2 whole people. And one of them wasn't even born here. Barely knew nothing about no football. But you see how we do though. I just keeping it. I'm just letting you know. And we go and we do 2 hours. No break. Oh, we got to go to a commercial break. How many commercial breaks we got? Man, we got a whole lot of chats. We got to get to all the answers today. Of course you do. This is the difference between levels to this, man. Difference between metaphors and real rap. And we got 2 people and we do it nicely. By the way, congratulations to us. I should have put this up. We've been nominated on UCSS for our second Emmy. Second Emmy. Not just one, second Emmy. When is the award show, baby? June 27th. I just keep going to stuff. Last week it was the R&B Awards. I'll be forgetting that we got Coach Prime. But now, yeah, let's get to this Emmy game. Me and Earl the Pearl is up. We will be at that red carpet too, this time broadcasting. We got that videos. Mikey McNuggets is up for 1. Anthony Antonelli is up for 1. Director Steve Curran is up for 1. Myself and Earl the Pearl. Stop playing around with us. The respect needs to be placed upon all names. I just had to wait. You know, the nominees, you know how to be like, I say, I'm going to wait. I gotta wait till the nominees come out. So we won 1. We've been nominated again. So we up for it. So make sure y'all continue to congratulate. You know, we still cooking. We still working. God is good, ain't he? Ain't he? Ain't he? Let me see. Nancy says, Jerry Jeudy catches the ball with his body. So many drops. Got to be a hands catcher. Hands. Got to be a hands catcher. JB too smooth. Maybe I'm tripping, G. But to me, it seems like Monken has 2 and Deshaun Watson working on 2 different things. For 2, he's building solid foundation, reason, concept. Deshaun Watson's more so building confidence, facts. See, JB, are you cooking today? You dialed in today. I asked for thinking people. JB cooking today. You are right. 2 different programs. I ain't gonna give you too much. But I can confirm that the Cleveland Browns have given both of them their own progression and things that they want to see. And that was given to them day 1 after the season. We're not going to give too much. We're not going to give you way too much. Just so you know. Gotham Media Labs. Well, the suds are dying down and the dirt is about to show. Hallelujah. Amen. At all times. At all times. My mom used to say, get in that bathroom up there. Playing in that water. I don't know why do kids like playing in water and jumping on beds? It's crazy. All kids do it. Anthony Monken himself said, the game ain't played 7-on-7. He sure has. He continues to say it. Saturday morning, the extra point DK says, Saturday mornings turning into drink my rise and shine coffee and watching you cook these clowns. Appreciate the content. It's the barbershop # New Cleveland. It ain't for everybody, bro. It ain't for look. My job, what I like to do, and I don't even tell Rosie be producing these shows. Half the time she won't even ask me what I'm saying. She's like, I don't know what he's gonna talk about. Do I got some notes over here, babe? No notes. I ain't got no paperwork or nothing. No, we just talking. I'm just saying. Just letting you know. Y'all be taking breaks and everything. Y'all get commercial breaks. See, this is the thing. Let me just tell y'all this too. Shout out to 92.3 The Fan. I was one of the first and only dudes. Now, there's some cats that this is why I respect it. There's reasons why I be respecting the game. I remember being at the Fan. Nick Wilson did this. Jonathan Peterlin did this. Shout out to Chico. He did this. Trying to think. Somebody else. But we used to do 5 hours. 5 hours. Single shows. Do you know how much content you got to have for 5 hours? 5 hours? And you had to do them when the Guardians or a team was playing. Like you may do a show and the Guardians is playing 7 to midnight. 7 to midnight on the air. Radio. 7 to midnight. Guardians or the Cavs is playing from 7 to like 11. You know how you got to cook? Because your fan base not even watching the television. They're not even watching you. It's the radio. They watching TV. You know you got to be saying you know what you got to be spitting? You got to be cold. And you got to find your own guests. And you got to find people. You got to have topics. Come on now. You got to be able to talk as if you got I tell you what. If I had live phone lines, it's a wrap for y'all. Live phone lines? Come on. Problem with live phone lines is they're live. Y'all got me demonetized in a heartbeat. Y'all be saying some crazy stuff. Oh, man. Anthony LaFear. G. Bush, you getting too big, bro. The hate coming. What you mean coming? What you mean coming? Like, anytime you doing something, like I already made it past that. You should have been talking about me last year. Coming. Look, what you talking about? I've been doing. See, that's the thing. You just seeing life is all about delayed consequences and delayed success. The work you put in today manifests and shows itself later on. So that goes the same with people that want to see you not really do what you're doing. That also manifests itself early, but it's whether or not you make it through that. To me, I keep telling people, you can't hate. I didn't do anything to get here. It's not my skill set. This is, God gave me this. I'm not, the same way I sit here and say, I don't think about what I'm saying or how I'm going to move. That's because God gives it to me. So how you hate on a gift? God always talks about your gifts. The only way God keeps your gifts or strips you of your gifts is if you don't use them. LeBron James is always going to be great at basketball to a certain extent. There's no reason why he can still play and do what he does at 41 because that's a God-given ability. So there's no reason why when you hear a singer, and I'm not comparing myself to these people at the highest level, I'm only just giving you an example of what I mean by gifts. The way Whitney Houston used to be able to sing, you can't teach that. Can't teach it. It's not possible. The way that Jamie Foxx could be an entertainer, he can sing, he can talk, he can dance. Come on, man. I don't care if your name not Michael Jackson and Chris Brown, you never dancing like that. I'm just sorry. You're not getting that off. Usher's charisma is what it is. You think that you can play all them instruments like Prince? Come on now. Come on, you're not getting that off. You're just not. But what I'm telling you is, when you're in the line of what you're supposed to be doing, can't nobody tell you how you hate on that. Ain't nothing to hate on. I keep telling you to say, my show is different from yours. How would you we not competing against each other. I talk about politics, religion, sports, class, economics, art, accounting, fashion, cooking, life. I talk about everything. I'm not pigeonholed to one topic. You talk about your fantasy team. I don't even look at you the same as me. We got two different lanes, man. But as long as you continue to do what you're supposed to do, you can't stop you. It's already predestined. G. Bush for UCSS panel to say if Deshaun Watson start, that says all they need to know about Shedeur Sanders is needing more time is ridiculous. By the way, is it all about Deshaun Watson's contract? That's like being like, I continue to give you this. If they said, G. Bush, because you don't have your own radio show in Cleveland, that tells us all we need to know about you. Or does it? No. Always understand positioning and phrasing. You're saying something nobody else is saying. You're connecting the dots and extrapolating and taking the next step and say, this is all we need to know about a person. No, that's actually called laziness. There's lots of subjects that if I take something on face value doesn't mean I need to know. Just because I'm into astronomy, I love space. I love the fact that, hey, look, Pluto is a dwarf planet now, right? It ain't even really one of the planets we grew up with. It's a dwarf planet. Does that mean that I know all I need to know about Pluto? No, they still sent a probe to Pluto. Came to find out, when the Cassini probe went right past Pluto, guess what it showed? Wow, it's a lot more to be known about that little frozen rock that's the last planet. That ain't a planet no more. I'm into science, bro. What do you mean that's all I need to know? There's so much, we know a lot about gravity, and it's so much that we don't know about gravity. Who says I'm not curious about it? Come on, man. Because Todd Monken, come on. That premise is crazy. And at the end of the day, let me just debunk this too. Deshaun Watson's contract is inconsequential. They're going on a sunk loss fallacy, right? Let me just hold on. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna keep putting it into perspective on you. I'm gonna just keep putting it in perspective for you. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep putting it. I got time. Don't worry about it. All right. What is it? Let me see. I'm just giving you that work just so you can understand. Okay. And let's do this. Hold on. This is a perfect opportunity, and we appreciate your patience. We appreciate your patience. Let me show you this. Here we go. Let me put this up here. All right, just to put it in perspective. All right, so this is Deshaun Watson's contract. He's 30 years old. His career earnings is $234 million. 234. Like, you see it. That's how much he gets a year. 46 million. His cap hit is 44 million. That seems like a bunch of money, right? Seems like a total crazy amount of money. Now, this is just things that I just did really quickly. I'm just trying to show y'all. It's a lot of money, right? Y'all got to start understanding how much wealth is in a perspective, because we do a terrible job of understanding what wealth is, actually, to be truthful. Jimmy Haslam's net worth is estimated at $8.7 billion. His wealth primarily comes from his ownership of Flying J truck stop chain founded by his father and the majority owner of the Cleveland Browns, which he purchased for $1,987 million in 2012. When people start talking about the fallacy of a sunk loss, well, he spent 234. If I started spending $234 million, if I was putting $234 million, I would surely want to get something out of it. You don't understand the value of money. And what you're talking about, you guys just don't really quite understand. So here's what I'll do in real time. This is why we are G. Bush, and this is what we do in the barbershop. Here's a graphic just to show this is how fast Rosie is. This is how fast. She's just, this is crazy. Hold on, let me put this back in here. Let me see. Make sure this goes out here. Let's see. Here we go. Dang, that was fast. Rosie, you kind of good at this thing. So according to your numbers, $8.7 billion in perspective. A number so big, it's hard to fathom. So let's break it down. $8.7 billion sounds crazy because it is. Let's put it in a real world's perspective so you can see just how massive that number is. Stacked in $100 bills would weigh 87,000 pounds and fill over 10 semi-trucks. That's 43.5 tons. $8.7 billion. That's $1,000 every second for 275 years straight. That's longer than the United States has been a country. That's if I got $1,000 every second for 87,000 stacks of 100,000. So hold on. That's 87 individual stacks of $100,000 stacked on top of each other. And guess what? If it was stacked on top of each other, it would be 13 miles high. Enough to buy 29,000 luxury homes at $300,000 each. That's a whole city of mansions. 8.7 billion is enough to cover a full college ride for 1.6 million students. That's more than the entire student population of many big states. You could build 87 world-class hospitals fully equipped, top to bottom. That means all the MRI machines, all the X-ray machines, all the labs, all of the techs, all of the emergency rooms, all of the ambulances, enough to buy 1,450 private jets. That's one for every day for 4 years. I can drive a new private jet. Daily interest equals life-changing. Now watch this. When people, this is where it gets you to. For all of you people that want to sit up here and tell me, oh my gosh, the 230 million Deshaun got, see, that's large money for you. You're regular. I keep telling you, we are regular. We just guessed. If you put 8.7 billion in a bank, earning just 5% interest. Now, mind you, Jimmy Haslam got something where he getting 10, 15% on his money. You'd earn $1.19 million per day. Here comes the number 2. Barbershop analogy today. We love you guys. Sponsored by your company. Do you want to sponsor the barbershop analogy today? Hit me up at fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. This is crazy. This is crazy. These guys in real life, They gave you two analogies. The one was about 7-on-7, and the other one is about how much money you got. Having $8.7 billion is like, compared to Deshaun Watson, who has $230 million, is like when you give your niece a quarter because she says she wants money. Jimmy Haslam just gave Deshaun Watson a quarter to go buy some candy at the store. Go down the street and buy some cool little trinkets. That's how much money he has. So if you're thinking that he is moved by these contracts, he doesn't care about this. At that stage, this is play money. It's play money. It's levels to it. Just like it's levels to the end. Now listen, hold on, let me see this. Who said this? I want to figure out who said this. What made me go down this long thing? Oh, yeah. This is just off this, Patrick Williams. I just give you your money's worth. That's how you answer a super chat. That's how you answer a super chat, people. So, no, I don't think Jimmy Haslam cares about the contract. But I do think he cares about how much money you can make him in his future. One person has a long-term future. One person necessarily doesn't. I think that plays a role. Why stress? We know how fragile Watson is. Relax. We ain't no need to stress. Deshaun Watson, okay. He's doing all right for himself. That 230 compared to what I'm making it is what it is. He all right. We concentrate on the offense too much. We forget about the defense. The expectation is no drop in defense after letting Schwartz go. I don't know. I'll give you that GB3346. Everybody got to pull their weight around here. I want, actually, to be truthful, the expectation is you're supposed to come in and bring your Coach Rudy. You better bring some different wrinkles to the game. One of the things with the Cleveland Browns is they couldn't play any zone coverage because people couldn't communicate. Jet motions really messed the defense up. Sweeps, misdirection really got the Browns going different direction. So, no, we're going to talk about defense on this channel as well. We just talk about offense right now because it's OTAs and it's a quarterback battle. But trust me, we will be getting the defense as well. Reese Will, great show. You always speak facts. Been Browns fan since 75, 100%. Jimmy Haslam does give second chances. He doesn't have problems paying money. I would say so too. The man got, what would I say, 87 pounds of stacked $100 bills, 43 tons. How you got 43 tons of $100 bills? It's just staggering, bro. It's staggering. It's staggering. Happy Memorial Day weekend, fellow vets. Hey, happy Memorial Day weekend to all the vets out there. I got a lot of vets in my family. I've learned a question. I've learned something too. Since the Coach Prime interview, do not name list of anybody, because if you miss somebody, it's going to be a problem. So I'm just say happy to all my vets out there. All the vets, this is my family. All the vets out here that's in the chat and community, we appreciate you for your service, and we want to continue to have blessings for you guys on a Memorial Day. Let me know in the comment section. What are you eating for Memorial Day? Is you smoking something? You got some briskets, hot dogs, sauce? What you doing? Let me know in the comment section. Neil Gray, nothing is wrong with competition. The cream will always rise to the top, and iron sharpens iron. I love the energy. That's in the training camp. Respect it. I love it. Neil Gray, you know what we talk about. I love that energy. I almost feel like I could play, but I can't. I'm Mr. Glass. I mean, my wife be like, yo, you know it's crazy. Since I got a neck injury, I can't get on roller coasters. It's crazy. I was a big roller coaster fan, and after I had my last neck surgery, there's like probably shouldn't do that. But I also too, driving for longer than like 2-3 hours, I shouldn't do that too. So I get off easy. No roller coasters. And anytime we go on a road trip, I ain't driving. Anthony LaFear, 2 ended season on a 2-game winning streak. Let it ride. That's gonna happen too. That's into the taken into account as well. I think a lot of people don't think that way because they keep running with the things that they've already created, a self-fulfilling prophecy. But you know what it is. Hey, G. Bush, showed a pic with Deshaun and his wife throwing at the wrist on Instagram in Europe. Watson knows what's up. He's just going along to go along, to get along. I did have that picture. I think, did I delete that? I might have got rid of it. I don't think I got it. Let me see. I don't think I got it no more. But I will show this one. I'll show this one. I think he out here playing ball. I think he out here doing a good job of doing exactly what he need to do. And this is the thing that I think you should show most. Shout out to him. And I'm gonna give credit. Because I don't like some of the energy. People be having energy and stuff. I done tore ACLs. I done been injured a lot. Shout out to him being out there and getting back out there and enjoying having his fun with his teammates. I already said I don't got to knock Deshaun Watson because in order to support Shedeur Sanders. I know Deshaun Watson, he got a great family. I know his acquaintance of his mother, his brother, his team. I ain't got no problem with Deshaun Watson. So my thought process is a lot of people, well, what are you gonna? It's disrespectful. What are you gonna say if Deshaun's the quarterback? I said, bro, what do you think? Like, I don't got no reason to degrade another. First of all, he on my team. I rep the Browns. First of all, he came to the hood and put a business that employed people in the hood. Remember what I told you? I said, I care about what you do for your community, right? So the idea that I'm going to be up here, now, if he throwing interceptions, that's what we're going to talk about. But in terms of what the game is, I don't got to be up here tap dancing and tearing down another black man that's trying to do something in life. For what? What are you going to do? Well, listen, I don't got to do nothing but pay these taxes and keep it 1,000. You need to ask yourself, what you going to do? Hey, we already know. We already know. G. Bush Q to Denzel, football ain't no more. Solstice full of life. G. Bush, will you be at training camp? Yeah, I'll be there. I was at training camp last year, cooking up. I'm going to see all my fellow brethren. How y'all doing? Be out there waving to everybody move. If you come to training camp, because it will be open to the public, come on and see me out there. Now, I do have to throw a disclaimer out here. I'm off on UCSS usually on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So those are the 2 days I'll go out there. Other than that, on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, I'm usually at UCSS. My days may change if people got vacation. So Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, I'm usually there. So I'm 10 to 12. So we had a studio. I can't get in my car and just see. That's the thing. I work for the Bleacher Report. So I got Bleacher Report updates that I have to do. I also do Ultimate Browns, which I'm contracted to do on Friday. Shout out to Ultimate Browns. If you watch my Ultimate Browns, that will be a special Memorial Day thing. So the thing is, I got a lot of people don't know that I have a lot of jobs. I do the barbershop. I got the Final Cut. I got the show that I'm doing with my parents and my family, Top 5. So I do the barbershop Saturday. So there's a lot of obligations that I have. So I would love to go to training camp every single day, but it's just not possible with my schedule. But I will be out there today. If they got training camp on the Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be out there. And we give you barbershop up episodes. So usually what I do is I leave training camp, come right back, and I tell you exactly what I saw. That's even one better. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be home in a minute and tell y'all what I saw from camp today. So I will. Thank you so much, Solstice, for full of life. We appreciate you. Mick Purnell, G. Bush cooking for a holiday on the barbershop. You know, I stayed with the smoker on. We got some coals ready to go. Neil Gray, Todd is coaching to win games and not worried about the media things. A player coach who lets us know what he's cooking before he served the main dish. Man, he gonna put them. With a dude like Todd Monken, he ain't even started yet. He ain't even started really. Wait till camp come. Sassy Southern Creations, thank you so much for gifting a G Bush membership. We appreciate you for supporting the content. Ark Thompson says, hey G Bush, I've been a fan of your show for a while. Love how you speak on sports and God's purpose. Continue to speak truth to power. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a supporter. Music Man says, boycott, don't buy anything till Sanders starts. I can't tell you what you do with your money. Here's what I would also say. Coach Prime said something. He said, bro, you know, I don't skip nothing. He said he didn't skip through what it is. Sometimes your road is what the road is going to be. And trust me, the process is the process. Whatever God going to have you go through, it's going to go through. We've already said this. And I said it last year. I said, man, look, man, sometimes you're going to have to go through something and you may not understand it at the time, but when you get through it, you're going to be better off for it because you're going to always be able to say, remember when I was at this point and it looked like I wasn't going to be able to. It's a lot of people who said he would never play last year. So why I'm going to get to a point and think you ain't going to play this year? And last year, the coach didn't even like him. Sassy Southern Creations. The Deshaun Watson show is all about upping his resale value. I actually think it's also about rehabilitation as well. Tearing 2 ACLs, Achilles heels is tough, let alone one shoulder injury. I think they're doing a good job of trying to rehabilitate his mental aspects of the game to get him back to playing, thinking he could play at a high level as well. DB Dog, I would also laugh when receivers in 7-on-7 make a catch across the middle. Actually, they would have taken it to the house for real. I played in a time where they would have been sniffing, smelling salt. Oh, yeah. All that catching the ball across the middle, man, yeah, you be in next. Hey, that's them hospital balls. Yeah, good luck. Back in the day, them boys, listen, boys was looking for you to come across that middle like that. Reese Will, congrats to your awards and recognitions. Well deserved. Been watching and listening to you for years. I used to listen to the BSK rip. RIP. You are only one in Cleveland. I still listen. Love what you do and always how you do it. Hey man, shout out to BSK, man. I always keep it alive, bro. BSK really was really one of the first dudes that his style I used to love because the BSK come in there with nothing. It's kind of like when people realized that Jay-Z wasn't writing no records. And then Lil Wayne was like, I don't really write. And then it was funny because then Rick Ross, I ain't writing no more either. But actually Jay-Z, he got that from Big. If you know, like he got that from Big. It messed him up. He said, bro, I went in there, I seen Big just jotting it down. And the intricacies of what he used to come back with off the top was crazy. And so people think Jay-Z, but not Big was actually one of them dudes that do that. Pun used to do that. No pad. You know what I'm saying? So I used to see BSK. Me and my dad used to listen to him in the car. I was in Canton. He used to be on WKNR back in the day. And we listened to his show, Solo. Man, he used to cook up. And then he started having to do these shows with other people. And I'm like, man, come on, man. BSK don't need no co-host. Let that man cook, bro. We trying to hear what he talking about. We trying to hear what he's saying. I'm trying to hear the whole story. Hey, Paul Harvey, we used to listen to Paul Harvey in the car. I'm like, man, this dude is up here cooking. Paul Harvey don't need nobody talk about, yeah, what you said. Yeah, I'm a cosign. No, Paul Harvey does not need a cosign. You messing the story up, dog. I'm trying to get the rest of the story. BSK would be up there cooking, man. Shout out to him, RIP. He was the first dude to actually, quick story. BSK would be doing his show, and I was running this board at the Fan. My little first gig in the time of the gig, he was the first person that actually let me talk on the radio. Program director called him, hey, why you letting that board op talk? He said, what you talking about, board op? This man, he one of them. I'm running my show. Tell me who can talk and who can't. I said, man, that's crazy. Back then, that's when the host was really doing, they just be talking. He come for that old generation. Nowadays, they be getting at y'all. Y'all can't just say what y'all want to say. They be looking at you in the meetings. But shout out, I always respect them for that, because if it wasn't for that, nobody wouldn't even know what my voice was. Them reports came after that scheduled release video. I scheduled dating, and that was coded up. That was coded up so crazy. NVD Money. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Welcome to the team, dog. Welcome to the family. All black quarterback room. We winning. They had that a couple times under AB. They had it a couple years. They had Jameis Winston, Deshaun Watson, DTR. Then they went and got PJ Walker, Philip Walker. You know what I'm saying? Then they had Dobbs and Kellen Mond. They done had a couple of that a few times. Jimmy Cleveland, G. Bush, just like you said about them trying to be on Coach Prime level. They out here trying to put themselves on Jimmy Haslam's level as if they have his money. Oh yeah, come on, man. Come on, man. He talk about, man, that amount of money is staggering. Y'all don't understand how much a billion. Y'all keep trying to say a billion. You don't have a clue, man. You think that the Jimmy Haslam, he owned, bro, he owned all the land. He owned the stadium, the land under the stadium, the rights to the. I keep trying to tell y'all about this. Shout out, I always shout out to the Haslam. Let me just show y'all something real quick. Shout out to the Haslam. Me just putting this up right here, right? If they wanted to, they could get you up out of here. Don't you show nothing. Me just saying, okay, I'm gonna just show top. No. If they wanted to get real cute on it, as an independent type content creator, they could put the shut all that down. You better not show a brown helmet. It better not look this way, smell this way. Cease and desist tomorrow. You know how many content creators they let rock? I'm just telling y'all, I done had the conversation. You know how many content creators they let rock? Do your thing, dog. Because they smart. They understand the ecosystem. See, let me just give y'all a nice little, I'm going to give y'all the abbreviation of what's happening right now so y'all can catch up on this game. Listen. Content creators, the Cleveland Browns have now started to wrap their minds around the concept that a lot of people didn't get. Independent content creators are the new move because they garner more loyalty and they garner a level of communication with their core fan audiences that big corporations have lost. Before, when we came up, it was the New York Times. Before, when we came up, it was the Washington Post. Before we came up, it was Meet the Press. Before we came up, when you watching these things, see, I'm about 44. I came up in an era where all of these entities, they controlled the ecosystem. But what they realized is, and I showed you before, the grassroots effort, when you talk about, it ain't about, you find out what's hot by word of mouth. You find out what's hot by if you know, you know. And when you're an independent content creator and you out here and you cultivate an audience and you tell the truth, that's where you need to tap into. You don't need to be going out to these folks out here talking about these. No, you need to tap into them cats that telling the real truth. So what they realize is during the presidential election, why are we going around spending billions of dollars on television? Yeah, we got to spend ads on TV. Yeah, we got to spend ads when it comes election time. But what happens when you start pulling up the streamers? The Streamers is going, if you want the 18 to 24, you go to the streamers. If you want to find out what's hot and what the people are saying off the record, you go to the streamers. When you want the real and you want people that's going to show up when somebody click on that button and they all pulling up, you go to the streamers. By the way, the most strong community is the people you see crossing up, pulling up right on the bottom screen, right here. B5 family 918. What's up, G Bush? Just want to give a shout out to me and my daughter. This weekend is our birthday weekend, but I'm unbothered stage. Hashtag New Cleveland 2 and 26. Hey man, congratulations and happy birthday to you and your daughter. It's a beautiful weekend. I hope you have a blessed Memorial Day. And also, any day that you sit here on this earth again, it's always unbothered. Listen, it's gonna play out. You know when it was crazy bothered. When last year we were sitting here and they done traded Joe Flacco. Now, let me just show you. They traded Joe Flacco. He gone. They done traded Kenny Pickett. He gone. Dylan Gabriel. He done got a concussion. Is Shedeur Sanders supposed to play? And they say, well, we might play Bailey Zappi. If you was unbothered and unconcerned then, you should not be unbothered and unconcerned now. You should be having a great weekend. And I know you will. CBS rig. Deshaun Watson contract is 2.6 of Jimmy's net worth. That's like you make 100K, you letting a friend borrow 2,600. Would you stay in a bad relationship over 2,600 or take the L and keep it pushing? Woo! Woo! Let me tell you this. I don't believe in borrowing money. Or I don't believe in lending people money. And let me tell you why I mean. Drake said this. I'm gonna give Drake credit. He said, never lend no money that you need right back. That was hard. Never lend nobody no money that you need right back. If you need, think about this. Jobs is fixed incomes. It's very rare where you can get a job where you can make more money unless you're going to spend more time doing something out. Maybe you got to do overtime. Maybe you got to get a second job. But if you got a regular job and you come to me and say, G Bush, I need to hold 600. I need to hold 600. And I mess with you and we solid. I'm not going to loan you the money. I'm going to give it to you. You know why? Because if you got in a position where you needed that 600, in what way are you going to get yourself out of that situation where you got another 600 in a couple of weeks to give it back to me? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So if I believe that God done blessed me to have the surplus, then I'm going to just be a blessing and say, here you go. I don't need that back. And I tell you, nah, I got you. Here it is. You ain't gonna worry about paying me back. Now, if it's a lot of money and it's over a certain amount, it don't work that way. The way the thing called marriage is set up is the way my feelings about you might not extend all the way to Rosie's, and her feelings is put on a monetary spend list. If you start to get anywhere above the commas, and I ain't getting it back, then she gonna have question marks. You just gave. And by the way, if you just a regular person, there's no way I'm gonna have to show. If you're a woman and I don't know you, I'm gonna have to have you negotiate with her. I can't be giving you no money on no Cash App at no certain times. Absolutely not. I don't know who you are. I can't. Listen, how am I gonna justify that one? That's crazy. I just gave this one. Nah, we're not gonna do that. You're gonna have to give me a you don't have to give me a GoFundMe link or something. Rosie, check out that GoFundMe. Long story short, Jimmy Haslam is stupid rich. He's more rich than you know. He not tripping on that. He not tripping on that. Alexander Gallant, Shedeur Sanders sold 250 million jerseys and received a small percent. The rest went to the NFL Players Association. Jimmy Haslam about cash. Shedeur's bust out Audemars. Hey, listen, I will say this: it's about the time value of money. The money already spent with Deshaun Watson has already been paid 10 times, tenfold. It is what it is. It's about whether or not you can sell marketing for the new stadium you have. We ballin', Jimmy. Cool, but I'm gonna need more free showers at Pilot. I think he's not running that no more. But listen, I'm sure you can send that on the bottom of the content on Pilot Fly J. Yeah, tell him, listen, I would really like more showers, and I need them the water to stay hotter, right? Mike Stephanie Dustin said, if your quarterback doesn't win the battle, people secretly want the Browns to be bad. If you know he needs to turn the mirror on himself. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that don't have a high opinion about the Browns because at this point, there's no information about it. Now, if the Browns come out and win, people will change. That's why I keep trying to tell you, there's no political issue with saying the Browns are trash. All right. Now, it's hard to say the Browns are trash if they start winning games. And what did Todd Monken say? Everybody talk. You don't want to hear what people say? Win games. I love that mentality. Extra Point DK says, still watching to hear the theme song too. Don't we got the, can we get that? We're going to play that too. We're going to play that, the world premiere. Here we go. I think I got it. Let me upload it because I do have it. The theme song for Final Cut. Is this it? Let me see. Do I have it in here? Here it is. Final Cut world premiere. You tell us what you think about it. Earl the Pearl has approved it. Tyvis Powell has approved this. So we're going to come up with an intro, and we appreciate you, whoever came up. We appreciate the intro. We got another one for the barbershop as well. Yeah. Turn me up. Welcome to the shop. This the Final Cut. Garrett Bush talking, yeah, we cutting up. Earl the Pearl in the chair, bring the fire up. Tyvis Powell in the building, let's line it up. Barbershop, Final Cut. Real talk, never luck. Game time, we know what's up. Step inside, this the Final Cut. Garrett Bush, Earl the Pearl. Tyvis Powell, Garrett Bush. Final Cut. World premiere. World premiere. World premiere. There we go. You heard it. Final Cut. World premiere. We got one for the barbershop coming up too. We got a barbershop intro that we running. We figured. So that's the Final Cut one. Shout out. Make sure y'all check that. Let me know what y'all think about that. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Fire. Not feeling it. I approve already. Song is fire. He said it's so-so. I think it's fire. Gotta have a visual. Hey, please do not play a long intro at the start of each video. After you watch it 2 or 3 times, it gets old. I fast forward past Mag Dogs when I watch this video. Look, we play everything. What y'all think? Buy my mixtape, by the way. Beautifully blessed. That's fire. I love it. So, yeah, you gotta have a video. You got a visual for it. So, with that being said, we had a great time, boys and girls. We loved you coming on in, and thank you so much for having a very intellectual football conversation. If you love the show, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in. Coming up tomorrow, 2 p.m., my sister-in-law, Mylene, she's spicy. She's going to be in the building. We'll be on every 2 p.m. Me, my brother Bryson, top 5 list. We got a great top 5 coming on, and we're gonna see if they can win some of G. Bush's money. Oh, money's on the line. Let's see if they can win it. Real money too. With that being said, you never know when G. Bush might show up radio, television, internet. But if you want a fresh cut on sports, you know I keep the clips up with me. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend. Make sure you pull up tomorrow. And as always, I already told you what it is. It's always, no matter what they're saying, you know what it is. It's Go Browns.